What's up, guys? Okay, so today was a little unexpected, to say the least. Um, um, what the fuck? I I'm still in awe. I really am. But what a crazy fucking day we had, you guys. What a crazy day. Um, so what I expect moving forward is we're going to go through today. We're going to go through the testimony. I mean, let's just talk about the fact that Amber Heard's camp has been completely obliterated. And I'll explain why. Even though it felt like Johnny was being crushed for a very long time. Um, I'll be honest with you, it was absolutely insane. Especially, how about that TMZ guy? Okay, my reaction aside, I just had to get that laugh out of the way because I seriously, I still I can't process what actually happened. It doesn't matter. The point is, Elaine got burned. Okay, Elaine got burned. That's the important part. Elaine got exactly what was coming her way after you ask a question like that. You got to be careful, especially with a feisty witness like Tremaine. I mean, Jesus Christ, what was Elaine thinking trying to put some coals in that fire? That made absolutely no sense. So I don't know what she was thinking. She tried, she got burned, and it was well deserved. Let's talk about the evidence, okay? And let's talk about the evidence, and let's talk about the jurors' reactions. So primarily, it was very interesting today. So yesterday, I tweeted that I tweeted that I could see the computer of the lady in front of me, and she's seated with Amber Heard's camp. Okay, so she is an Amber Heard lady. She's with a firm that it's like national, right? As we learned. Because of that, I absolutely guarantee that that is why they moved us 3 rows back. If you notice, the first 3 rows today have not been filled. Row number 1, 2, and 3. Whereas yesterday and every day prior to that, all 5.5 weeks, the first 2 rows were the only ones that were unoccupied. That tells me that people are watching. So my Twitter is being watched by the courthouse staff. Pretty much no question at this point. We'll get to who else is watching my Twitter, by the way. Lots of stuff happening today, you guys. So strap yourselves in and let's dive in, shall we? I'm going to go back later and do yesterday. Right now, I'm doing today only, May 25th. Let's fucking rock and roll this bitch. All right? Okay. So the deputies, like I said, at first I didn't realize why the deputies wouldn't let us sit in the 3rd row. Once I realized what the issue was, then I relaxed. I was like, okay. Now, yesterday I got a chance to talk to the stenographer. She's really cool. Like after the trial, I stayed behind and talked to a few other people, and she walked out, and I talked to her. Actually, I don't think I caught her name, but I believe I did give her my business card. And then Elaine and the Amber Heard team walked out, so our conversation with the stenographer was interrupted, unfortunately. So it is what it is. It doesn't really matter. We talked about cameras and court reporting and stuff like that. She is a really, really sweet and funny lady. Like, I'm not surprised that Johnny Depp is waving to her and is so nice to her. It makes a lot of sense. And this morning, she recognized me, of course, from yesterday, and she looked at me and we kind of exchanged waves, and it was really, really sweet. She's a really sweet lady. And then the most power move I have ever seen in a long, long time for a lawyer to do. I mean, this is classic shit. Ben Chu takes his bag of candy, walks over to Amber Heard's camp and dumps like a pile of candy right on their table, you guys. This was at 8:48 in the morning. So the judge hasn't walked in yet. The jury hasn't walked in yet. Amber Heard, Johnny Depp, nobody's in the room except some of the spectators and the lawyers. That's it. That's all who's in the room. And Ben Chu is just like, yeah, how you like them apples? You guys ready for some hot shit? You don't even know what's coming yet, baby. And boy, oh boy, did Ben Chu deliver. And we'll get to that in a few. He gave some to the stenographer as well. I have an idea, by the way, you guys. I have an idea. We are going to get some T-shirts signed by the DUI guy and crew. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to get maybe some signatures of James on there, and Scott, and Vanessa, and Joe, and Ian, and Rob. Everybody who's been physically in court. I don't know if we're going to be able to get everybody's signature on every single T-shirt or something like that, but I'm thinking it's going to be really great to raise money for the Los Angeles Children's Hospital. All proceeds. I do not want to make money on this. I want to have all proceeds on the T-shirts signed by us, not the ones that I have in store. That's just whatever. But these ones are going to be unique and special, and they're going to have signatures on them. And we're going to donate everything. And hopefully, God willing, if we can raise the $7 million, or excuse me, the $6,750,000 that they never received from Amber Heard. How awesome would it be if we could raise that money for the Los Angeles Children's Hospital to make a statement? I mean, that is going to be the most epic burn of the most epic burns of this country to Amber Heard and her team that has ever happened. So 9 o'clock, court begins. There's a bench conference. The judge walks in. All the lawyers go up. Nothing really interesting. Jurors are let in about 20 minutes later, so it was a pretty long bench conference. And juror number 8 was looking very stylish today. Very stylish. Now, I called it. I received information. Remember, I shared it with you yesterday. I'm so new to this. Like, what can I say? What can I not say? I have a secret. Is it a secret? Can I share it? Who else knows it? Sure, it's on the internet, but it's one thing to be a rumor. It's another thing to have confirmed. So, it's one thing to have names on a witness list. It doesn't really mean anything until you actually are in with your feet into the fire, right? So it's a very, very different ball game. A very different ball game. I'm still learning, and it's going great so far. So this morning I was like, you know what? It's like 20 minutes before we walk into court. Might as well. It doesn't matter. I called it. I said Kate Moss and Johnny Depp are going to testify, and they both did because I had it on good authority that they will. Otherwise, I would never have posted it. The whole gallery and the jurors perk up like who? Like gophers coming out of a hole, like what the hell? When Kate Moss gets called, because everybody saw it coming, but nobody really expected it. It's kind of these things like when you hear about it, it's one thing, but when it actually happens, it's like, did that just happen? That just happened, didn't it? Holy shit, she's on the stand. Holy shit, but it's like the brain is processing, because these are not just like random strangers across the street. These are people that like the entire world is familiar with. So it's very, very unique, very interesting. The entire gallery, as soon as the words Kate and Moss in the same sentence get said back to back, I mean, Kate and Moss, the whole gallery and the jurors, everybody perks up. When Kate Moss starts testifying, all the jurors are seen, they're scribbling away like crazy. When she testifies, the 1994 and 1998, she has been dating Johnny Depp. Juror number 9 is scanning the room, and juror number 8 is seen smiling. Now, the fact that they did not cross-examine Kate Moss was a brilliant defensive move. I will give it, and it was Elaine's idea, because Elaine looked back as Rottenborn was going to be doing the cross-examination. And Elaine did one of these, and she kind of looked back and was like, no, we're not doing this. She shook her head furiously, and Rottenborn then very quickly stood up and said, Your Honor, no more questions. We don't have any questions for this witness. Boom. Kate Moss is out. Literally, as quickly as she came in, she got out. She just wanted to testify about the incident. She fell. She was not pushed. End of story. Next witness. Direct examination back. So we got Curry back on the stand. She's a very, very sweet lady. She appears very, very smart, and she absolutely looks not just in smarts, but in the understanding of her job and the profession that she is set to defend, basically. As soon as she gets back on the stand, all the jurors are seen scribbling as soon as she starts talking. All right. Remember, I'm less focused. It's impossible to multitask so much. Like, I'm focused on the testimony as much as I can, but I'm also watching for jurors' reactions. It's a very difficult job. I'll probably get better at it. This is like the first time of me actually doing it on such a magnitude. with very little sleep and very little food. But whatever, I'm surviving. I think I'm getting more than I expected. I'll be honest. So I'm going to keep sharing with you guys. So this is around 9:30, 9:25-ish. Everybody's scribbling down as soon as Dr. Curry opens her mouth. And she's basically putting into question all of these previous experts. You guys know who I'm talking about. And the jurors are just like eating it up, especially when words like easily exploited. I remember one time, I don't even remember what the context was. I just have the words because, I have to handwrite everything. Easily exploited comes up. The jurors just won't stop writing. They're just scribbling. And number 5, I just wrote on here, number 5 looks really good today. Number 4 usually looks very good. And I think it was the brown color. I think I can say that now because she's already long since left the courthouse. Last time I called out what she was wearing, and I got blasted on Twitter because I wasn't even thinking. I presented admiration for the outfit that she had on, and I didn't realize I was calling her out, like basically by name, like what she was wearing, right? So I deleted that tweet. Thank goodness. Somebody told me to take it down. I'm like I said, I'm still new to this, but I think I'm catching on pretty quickly. So I took that down. But today, her outfit was good, but maybe she's in a what's it called? A wash cycle week or something. Like she needs to do laundry. And she ran out of things to wear, which, and she's got a full-time job being a juror on this case. So I don't blame her. She's probably like, a couple more days. It doesn't matter. Maybe she'll wear something good tomorrow. I don't know. We'll find out. 9:28. This is just classic. I know this may sound a little aloof to some people, but Johnny, for the first time in my time of being there, as Dr. Curry is testifying, Johnny Depp just sneezes out of the blue. But right at the moment when she starts like hammering down on some of these experts that the defense, that Amber Heard's team put on, and he kind of says this and points to Ben Chu, probably says "bless you." I couldn't hear it; it wasn't audible because their microphones are off. And I just wrote, I think he's allergic to bullshit, just like the rest of us, and not bullshit that Dr. Curry is stating, but his sneeze was kind of an indicator of like, yeah, I agree, because all those other experts are complete garbage. And Dr. Curry did a much better job of addressing what the context of an evaluation should be and what the proper evaluation is, why their experts did an improper job, and so on and so forth. All right. So this is where I discovered, right around this time, I finally had the thought, they probably moved us an extra row so that people like the DUI guy can't see the computer of the, because she still had her computer open today, but I couldn't see anything. I stopped looking. I was like, you know what? Whatever. I don't care. You do you. Now, about 30, 35 minutes in, everyone is writing sporadically, but number 2 is writing pretty much everything down. Juror number 2 is like, I guess he was like, this is the best stuff I've ever heard. He just won't stop writing. He's writing away, and everyone else is just writing sporadically. Now, you can see when Curry's on the stand, Amber Heard's camp is visibly nervous. They're very tense. There's like this energy in the room where you're like it's heavy in there. Like there's a dark cloud hanging over them, like it's about to start raining and they all need rain jackets. They look really, really bad. And justifiably so. They're very somber. I wrote down the word somber. That's what they appeared like. Because you got to remember, I mean, this is like almost 40 minutes in now, and the jurors are still very alert and focused about every word that comes out of Curry's mouth. I mean, she is an expert witness. It is not easy to sit there and pay attention and listen to an expert witness for so long. I mean, you get drained. It's technical stuff. You get bogged down in details. And I think we'll get to some of that in a moment. And you're just like still trying to process. And by the time you're done processing what she just said, she's already said 5 more things because we're not experts in the field. So I don't know. It was, they were all very alert and focused about just about every word. And they were eating, like I said, out of the palm of her hand. Number 5, it was seen tilting her head again. She was tilting her head right around this time. Now, there's a bench conference. There's a bench conference at about 9:40, and I think this was kind of like a telltale sign. Number 8 was staring at the gallery very intently. Not sure why. I don't know what she was after, but she was like very intently staring at the gallery. Maybe she saw something. I don't know. And she was scratching her face. Again, maybe her face was itchy. Maybe it's an indicator. Who knows? You can't tell with these things. Number 7 is taking a nap. He's sitting upright and he's got like just his eyelids closed. He's just sitting there kind of like, I think it's exhausting. It's exhausting to listen to so much evidence. Then a few minutes later, and then when the bench conference is over and she resumes testimony, he's still just kind of like resting his eyes, maybe listening. Tries to hide a yawn at one point, like, one of these that you do without like opening your mouth that you do sometimes when you don't want to appear obvious that you're tired and maybe bored or whatever. I think he did one of those. Words like ethical, standard procedure start getting thrown around. Boom, number 7 wakes up. And numbers 2, 5, 7, 8, and 9 all start writing again. I thought to myself, from a legal perspective, now this is a very dangerous move, but potentially also very effective depending on the circumstances, okay? In this case, maybe it would have been a bad move, but I kind of entertained the idea because we got to remember this is all happening on the fly. I don't have time to analyze. I'm moving at the pace of time as I'm sitting in that courtroom. And I was like, what if it might be a smart idea not to cross-examine Curry? Now, hear me out. Hear me out. This is the argument, all right? This is defense attorney stuff, like hot off the press. When you have a witness that is very, very damaging to you, especially on like redirect or something, and you don't have anything of substance to, on direct, on rebuttal is what I meant to say. On direct, on rebuttal, right? And you don't have much on cross. Like you don't really have much to truly do some substantial damage, let's say, right? Let's say the witness really is very, very good for them, really, really bad for you. You don't have a saving grace. I mean, you got nothing, right? Let's say you got absolutely nothing. Well, sometimes it's a good idea and it's good practice and good strategy to not cross-examine at all. And here's why. By saying you don't have any questions, you now immediately, by virtue of doing that, put a question in the jurors' minds. And now they're all thinking like, wait, why didn't they ask any questions? That was weird. Why didn't they ask any questions? Did that testimony even mean anything to them? Like, you plant the idea. That's a very dangerous move because the reverse could also happen. Like, wait, they didn't ask any questions? Did they just give up? Are they caving in? So it's all on a situation basis. It's a situation by situation basis. So you can't be like, oh, this is a great strategy. Let's use it in all cases, at all times, forever. No, it's a cases by cases basis. And this was probably not one of those cases where that would have worked because Curry was really, really good and their experts were really, really bad. But in a case where it's kind of like a 50-50, sometimes it's a very good idea for the defense to just go, you know what, no questions, Your Honor. And then now it looks like that witness just didn't bring anything to the table. Maybe they will now be considered that their opinion was irrelevant, useless, did not bring anything useful to the plaintiff's case if you're the defense. So it's a strategic move. They did not do it here. Moving on. I was told by a reliable source in the courtroom, that the only time juror number 6 actually showed some type of emotion and some type of expression was when Johnny Depp was on the stand. And it was positive. He apparently likes Johnny Depp. So when Johnny Depp was testifying initially on direct, number 6 was really attentive, paying attention, and was very excited about Johnny Depp's testimony. I'll be honest, about an hour in, even my eyes started glazing over when Curry was testifying. I was like, maybe I'm tired. This stuff that she was spewing is way above my pay grade, and especially in the limited time I had, because she had some really good stuff to say. Curry had some really, really, really good stuff to say, and I was trying to be as attentive as possible because I liked what she was saying. I liked how she was analyzing the weakness of the defense's experts' information as they were putting it forward when they were on direct, as she analyzed it. But it's very hard to multitask, and but I did the best I could. We could see around an hour in when Curry starts talking about peak T-scores, number 2 is visibly nodding. That was interesting. And I made a joke on here because she started talking about the 3-6 code type. I don't know what the 3-6 code type is. I think she explained it on the stand, but I was like, that's what I'm going to start calling my inability to read jurors number 3 and 6 because they're so stoic. 3 never moves and 6 never has any facial expressions, and 3 has a mask on his mouth so you can't see his face. So that's what I'm calling my inability to read jurors number 3 and 6 is a 3-6 code type. I also wanted to throw in right here, I apologize if you've messaged me via email, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, text. I have received so many messages, you guys. It's very difficult for me to be able to do everything. So I apologize. I have literally hundreds, not exaggerating, messages across all platforms. So if I have not replied to you, do not be insulted. Do not be offended. There's a reason for that. I'm very busy. I need to work. I need to go to trial. I need to sleep. And I don't have time. There's only 24 hours in a day. I'm not able to get around to everything, but I will get to every single one of you. That is a promise. So it may take me, if it takes me a week, it takes me a week, but you will be responded to, okay? As soon as I have time, and I will personally do it. I'm not just going to like assign it to somebody. I don't do that kind of stuff. I may eventually have to do it, but right now I'm still in a position where I feel like I should be able to. All right, let's keep going. So around an hour in, the jurors' eyes are now starting to get glazed over as well. So right around the time I started getting glazed over, so did the jurors. Let me just call this out. Eileen Carr, thank you so much for the $100 super sticker. Good God. Thank you. And by then, like nobody's writing stuff down anymore. I think they got the idea. She just keeps saying they already figured it out. They're good. But when she starts using words like feigning, exaggerating, talking about Amber Heard when she was feigning and exaggerating her, damsel in distress, my oh my, a lot of the jurors start writing stuff down again. This is like over an hour in. Even number nine rarely like makes contact between hand and face, and today he was stroking or taking. He did one of these. Like he was scratching his right cheek with his left finger, I believe, and then after that he kind of rested on his chin. It was very interesting because he rarely does that. He usually just kind of sits and his eyes dart around and his eyebrows move up and down. So and this is interesting. So this was the beginning of my first time really trying to pay attention to number 5. Okay, let's talk about number 5. Number 5, based on all the data that I have personally collected, talking to other people, gathering my own intel, watching number 5 as we move along with this trial. I thought she was Chinese, but somebody told me she might be Vietnamese. She's obviously of Asian descent. I don't know. We believe that she might be in Amber Heard's camp. Some of us, including myself, are starting to suspect that number 5 might be sympathizing with Amber Heard. I mean, nothing wrong with that. She's the one listening to the evidence. I'm not judging her. I'm not trying to call her out on anything. I'm just saying that there is a suspicion based on, like, I'll give you one example. There are a lot of times where you just watch the jurors' reactions generally, and I see about 8 of them like will react one way, and her reaction will just be a little askew. But when it happens once, you don't really think about it. You kind of look at it and go, all right, that's one piece of information. But then you receive another piece of information, like she will react to something that's positive, or everybody will react to something that's positive to Johnny and she won't react, or something will be like positive to Amber Heard and she will react. So I'll give you one that happened today around 10:05-ish, I guess. When Dr. Curry said the words alleged IPV, that's the the violence, the interpersonal, fuck, I can't remember the words. Chat will help me out. Whatever IPV stands for, I can't for the life of me remember best reaction to word on Popcorn Planet. You understand IPV. When she started saying, when Dr. Curry started testifying that intimate partner violence, thank you, intimate partner violence. So when she used the words alleged along with IPV, so alleged intimate partner violence, number 5 raised her eyebrows. Like she had one of these, like very quickly, but it was a surprise, like, but not with the same expression I just did, because she's very motionless. Like I can't see her mouth because she's got a mask on, and she just had a very visible, and it appeared to be negative raising of the eyebrows. Again, I could be completely wrong, but you see what I'm saying? Like it's not just I looked at that and I was like, oh my God, she's with Amber. No, I looked at that and I was like, all right. And then she had incongruence with other jurors previously. Like it was pro Amber here. It was, and then she did not react. And it was anti Johnny here, and she did react. And now we have this, and it's like IPV, yeah, alleged IPV, huh? Like, what do you mean alleged? So I don't know. But she was not impressed with Amber Heard. You're right. I do have in my notes. She was not impressed with Amber Heard, but still doesn't mean that she doesn't empathize with her. That still doesn't mean that she doesn't empathize with her. So it's a crapshoot. But we still have a lot of information that we have absolutely no idea about. I mean, for God's sake, we have 5 weeks of testimony that we don't have reactions to. So good call. That you're absolutely right in the chat. So, and she, and when she raised her eyebrows and she did that quick one, she started like kind of touching her mask for a little bit. I've never seen her do that. She rarely shows any emotion, even so. I don't know. Another interesting thing happened today when Dr. Curry testified that PTSD causes extreme stress, like to the point where people may lose their jobs, and like all these like real physical manifestations that come out of having a diagnosis of PTSD. Number 6 is the only one that starts writing stuff down. He's the older gentleman. He's the only one who starts writing stuff down. And I was like, I'm wondering if he's a veteran, because his stoicism, his composure, the way he carries himself, the way he looks at the crowd, the way he looks at the jury, the way he looks at the witnesses. I'm wondering if it's possible that number 6 is a veteran, because he was the only one that kind of actually paid attention to the PTSD testimony, and he's old enough to where he could have served in, well, based on his age, I don't know. I mean, maybe even Vietnam. He could have been 18 at the time, right? 20, 40, it was in the 70s, right? He could easily have been like 18, 19-year-old kid in Vietnam. So I don't know. Just a speculation. Again, data, the more data I have, the better an output I can say. All right. Cross-examination of Curry. Now, again, I think this was the absolute wrong move. There was so much a better way to cross-examine Curry. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know why Elaine went there. It does not look good on her. It does not look good for the case. It does not look good for her team. It does not look good for Amber Heard. But the first thing that she launches with is an ad hominem attack. That is attack on a person. Okay? And I'm like, when you don't have anything, I even wrote this down. I think I tweeted about it. When you don't have anything of substance, you attack the person. You attack the person's character. You attack what the person has done, what they have eaten, what they have said, in certain circumstances that have absolutely zero relevance to the case. And that's exactly what Elaine did. So I don't know. The jury was not taking a single note. They did not appear to care that she came over to Johnny Depp's house. They did not take a single note, nothing about the dinner. Their pens did not even get lifted off their laps. So when oh, by the way, a classic other power move that I've seen throughout the day, Johnny Depp personally, when Elaine is at the witness, not the witness stand, when Elaine is at the podium talking to the witness, cross-examining Dr. Curry, Johnny Depp does one of these. Like, he turns to her and he just kind of stares her down, kind of like, what you got? It's like classic Johnny. I absolutely love it. And he's got this little smirk on his face. Number 9, by the way, during this whole debacle of you went to dinner and you had dinner, therefore you're biased bullshit. Number 9 is just literally staring blankly forward, and he's not looking at either Elaine or Curry. Like, he's literally just locked in, looking forward. The jury is very attentive during cross-examination. However, they take 0 notes. No notes. And by the way, at one point, Elaine interrupted Curry. She was like, if you don't mind, due to lack of time, I would like for you to stay on task. I'm like, that's rich. I was waiting for her to complain about like wanting to go to lunch because she's hungry. I mean, listen, you're going to ask a question, wait for the answer, right? You can't simply ask a question and then, I don't know. I've never seen this before. I'm familiar with Kentucky courts, okay, where when witnesses have an answer to give, judges let them qualify their answer, even on cross-examination. So this is all new to me. I'm going to try that back in my home state, and I highly doubt that it will work. But who knows? It might. Now, when Elaine started asking a question, there was a moment, if you remember, Elaine started asking a question and said, you know what? I'm not going to do that. Number 2 was visibly laughing and hiding his face as best he could, and it was looking down. It seems like anytime somebody fudges up in court, he just absolutely loves it. He finds it very amusing, and he enjoys it. Now, when Elaine started throwing around, if you remember when Johnny Depp's team was throwing ethics and morality and stuff like that at Amber Heard's witnesses, they were getting a lot of reaction. However, when Elaine started throwing words like avoiding a conflict of interest and ethics and trying to sound very lethal and deadly, not a single juror picked up a note. Take from that what you will. Now, depo objection. There was a deposition objection during one of the video depositions. Number 2 is just playing with his pen and rubbing his eyes. I think he was just done with it. On redirect of Curry, jury appears to like her. They all look at her more on redirect examination than cross-examination. And by the way, number 8 was looking at me a lot today. I caught her glance several times in that morning right before the break. I think she's really wondering, like, who is this guy and why is he here? Like, what is he doing? Why do I keep seeing his face? I mean, because I'm sharply dressed. I look like an attorney, and I'm just sitting with a crowd of fan women, you know. So I'm either like Johnny, but my reactions, you know, sometimes I think they catch my reactions because I'm in the front and center, especially maybe today. I don't know. We'll get to that reaction in a minute. But that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool that she caught my gaze, and I'm sure she's got 100 questions that she would like to ask me. But unfortunately, we can't talk until this case is over, and maybe even then, there may be a buffer period when the judge will say, "Please don't talk to the jurors after they reach their verdict." Okay. Johnny always gets his coffee at 11 a.m. There's a pattern here. I don't know why. That's when he likes it. That's the way he likes it. He always gets the same mug, 11 a.m. Johnny gets his coffee. Now at 11:12, Johnny Depp gets called back to the stand on direct by Johnny Depp's team, of course, on rebuttal. Okay, and he provides now rebuttal testimony. So let's go through this. This is good stuff. And we'll get to the cross too. The cross was pretty brutal. I'm not going to lie, you guys. I'm going to call them the way I see them. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The cross looked bad. Rottenborn did a good job today. He really did. Sad to say, but that still doesn't mean just you because you do a good job for one day. See, this is what people forget. It's not like the jurors are gonna suddenly forget everything that happened over the past 5 weeks. They all remember all of it. But today, if you take like today in isolation, was a pretty decent moment, several moments for Amber Heard's team, and I will talk about that in a moment. All right, so Depp gets called to the stand. I will tell you that I felt the whole room audibly move. Now, you know how sometimes I talk about shifts? I mean, this was expected, obviously. It's Johnny fucking Depp. This is Captain Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean, right? This is the guy from Blow. This is the guy from 21 Jump Street. This is the guy who has a song about him. Jack Sparrow, you know, by the Lonely Island. I mean, he gets on the stand, people are going to notice because he's no longer with his back to you. Now he's got his front to you. So the whole room, like it's not just shifting. I could literally feel the room moving. Number two, for some reason, when Johnny Depp is called back on the stand, has a very impressed look on his face. I don't know what to make of it, but he was just very impressed. Maybe, obviously, we have information that they don't have. Obviously, number two is not supposed to be reading the news, so he has no idea. And when he sees Johnny Depp get back up there, he was impressed. Now, the Depp Waldman statement, or I'm going to call it the Waldman statement. When they start asking Johnny Depp about the Waldman statement, okay, every single juror starts writing stuff down. Every single one of them. Because I think that brought a huge piece to the case that really solidified, because it was always the question, can you attribute the claim to Johnny? I mean, the whole counterclaim by Amber Heard hinges on whether or not Johnny Depp made those statements. And if he was not privy to them, when he starts talking about it, everybody wants to know it, not just in the gallery, but of course the jurors who are there to decide whether or not to award any monetary damages to Amber Heard. And they seem to be writing down everything, and everyone was writing stuff down when Johnny started talking about the Waldman statement, not surprisingly. Now, here comes a wonderful one when Johnny Depp is asked on direct examination as to whether or not he remembers Amber Heard testifying that she did not receive any assistance in getting her role in Aquaman. And he says, yes, of course I do. And he's asked, is that true? And he says, it's not true, if you remember. Number two purses his lips. Now, this was a purse. This is one of these, you know. And he starts rubbing his eye when Johnny Depp says, so she did it without your help. Or hold on, I'm sorry, I may have misspoke. She did. I have it written down. She did it without. Yeah, when Johnny is asked, so when she said she did it without your help, that is not true. He starts rubbing his eye noticeably. Amber Heard at that moment when they start talking about Aquaman, I look at Amber Heard's cam because something caught my eye because she's directly in front of me, right? The I know for you guys it's going to be backwards, but the jury's right over here, the witness is right over here, Johnny Depp's camp is over here, and Amber Heard's camp is over here from my vantage point. And something catches my eye, and I look, and I see that Amber Heard is exchanging very nervous looks with Elaine. Appears to be extremely tense and displeased for obvious reasons, because she's like, I got this role myself, you know. How dare he say that he got the role for me? Bitch, please. Come on, we all know. Now, one of the things, like during the bench conference, there was an objection. Something happened. There was an objection by Amber Heard's attorney. They walk up to the bench conference, and when they came back, the lawyer said, if you guys remember, please continue. And I was like, oh, that was a glorious moment for me as a lawyer, because you can't tell the jury, like, I just won that objection. The best way to let the jurors know, to convey the information that you have just successfully won the objection, and is two ways. Number one, re-ask the same question again that was just objected to, Or if it's like in the middle of a sentence, and this is what this lawyer did, she said, quote, "Please continue," end quote, which means I won. Go on. There was no like objection sustained, objection motion to strike. None of that happened, right? So that's the best way to let them know that you won the objection. And when Johnny Depp says that he personally knows, and he names the 3 Warner Brothers execs, and that he spoke to them, pretty much. Oh, I'm sorry. I take it back. Number 1 is the one who's writing stuff down. I didn't see anybody else writing it down. For some reason, number 1 was the only one writing stuff down. And then when Johnny says, quote, "Sorry, that was extra," in Rottenborn's direction, when I don't remember what it was. Just I noticed number 9 was laughing. That was pretty rich. Now let's talk about the MDMA. So at 11:27, MDMA, 8 to 10 pills. You didn't take 8 to 9 pills, did you? And he says, no. Everybody's writing stuff down. When when the question is, well, why didn't you take 8 to 10 pills? He said, I think I would die. The entire gallery kind of chuckles a little bit to themselves. The testimony of there was no phone on the wall. Whitney Heard audibly clears her throat in the courtroom. She's seated not far from me, so I could tell where the noise was coming from. And when I looked, it was her. Johnny Depp doesn't, I noticed this is very important. Remember when Amber Heard was testifying, and during like the bench conferences, she kept giving jurors like the death stare, kind of like scanning the jury, like looking left, looking right, looking at every single juror, trying to look them in the eye. Johnny Depp doesn't do that. Johnny Depp doesn't do that. He looks at the floor. He looks at the table. He may look at his glasses. He sometimes does this. He kind of looks at the judge, because the jury's right over there. I like that style, and it kind of shows sincerity. It shows honesty. It shows, somebody even wrote, I think, on that tweet, they were like, when you are lying, you're constantly looking for confirmation of whether or not the people you are trying to sell this stuff to are buying it. Whereas when you speak the truth, you got nothing to sell. It sells itself. So I don't know. It kind of goes to the heart of that issue. But for the most part, I will agree that Johnny just looks sincere on the stand. Actor or no actor, the jurors seem to be empathetic to him and his cause. That's what I'm seeing. And I'm not alone. You can pretty much ask anybody who has been in that gallery. Now, I see you guys are throwing a bunch of questions, by the way. I will get to super chats after I'm done with this, okay? So if you don't have a super chat, I'm not going to be able to get to your question. I'm just throwing that out there real quick. And we also need line sitters for the day before I forget. I know Jamie is orchestrating this whole thing. Please get in touch with me if you'd like to volunteer as a line sitter. We need one because Ian's in town. So Ian and I are going to be going tomorrow. We need one for Vanessa, for James, for Scott. We need at least 5 line sitters, and we're definitely going to need one more for tomorrow. We need 6 line sitters for tomorrow so we can get Rob in there. Rob is going to be there on Friday. Okay, so, all right. So yeah, Johnny Depp, he even grabbed a tissue. I thought he was wiping something off the table. Somebody said he was actually wiping his glasses. So, okay, I didn't see that. I didn't have the vantage point. Now, when Johnny Depp starts talking about his missing finger piece, when he starts talking about the missing finger piece, and there's like this whole little line of short little snippets that he says, like, yeah, it hurt. It's gone. And he goes, I miss it. I have that in quotes. Numbers 2, 8, and 9 chuckle. I caught that. Now, interestingly enough, and I tweeted about this because I couldn't find any other better way to describe it. I just looked at my notebook and I realized that my last note was made around 11:27, give or take. And the clock said 11:42. I lost 15 minutes of reaction time. I was so entranced by the testimony. I don't even remember what was said. I was just so enthralled and entranced and interested in the actual trial. Like, I completely forgot my job for a minute. I was so hypnotized by what was happening inside the courtroom for my own purposes as an observer watching this trial and listening to Johnny Depp. I remember I think he was talking about his mom passing away. He was talking about his finger. He was talking about what else he was talking. It was right around that time. It was right around that time. And I felt an emotional connection to his story. Like I felt his pain. I felt what he was going through as he was telling his tale. And I don't know. I'm telling you guys, somebody even mentioned it on Twitter when I said that it just gives you an idea of the atmosphere in the room. And it's the best I can tell you. 15 minutes of my life are in a vortex. I don't know where they went because I was so enthralled and entranced by Johnny Depp's testimony that I lost track of time. I even wrote it down. I wrote it down right over here. 11:42. I lost track of time. So, and then there's a moment when Rottenborn objects to something that I think Johnny Depp says. Yeah, something that Johnny Depp says. And Johnny Depp kind of looks at Rottenborn very snarkily and goes, "Is that better?" And number 6 does one of these, and he's done it multiple times already. He does one of these like challenge nods over towards Rottenborn, and number 9 smirks. I mean, number 6, I swear, he likes personality. When there's personality in the room, when somebody is showing their flag, hosting their flag, hoisting their colors, and are not afraid to demonstrate the caliber of individual, the caliber of testimony that they have to provide, then he likes it. He likes it. And when you don't do your job, the reverse happens. He challenges you like, come on, is this the best you got? Like when Elaine was fumbling on the objection, hearsay, unintelligible, all those boom, 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 rapid fire by Vasquez. Same thing. Juror number 6 was like, almost like what's up? Come on, get your shit together. And same thing for Johnny. When Johnny was like, is that better for you? He's kind of like, that's what's up. Get your shit together. Why are you objecting? Let him testify. With respect to the Kate Moss testimony, number 9 smirks and number 6 sits confidently. Whitney is shifting very uncomfortably in her seat, and number 8 smiles during the Kate Moss testimony by Johnny Depp. Now, when Johnny says, I have never heard that rumor, talking about the Kate Moss being pushed down the stairs or whatever, I've never heard that rumor until Amber Heard grabbed a hold of it. Johnny Depp, and I think this is on video. This must be on video because the camera should have been on him. So you guys can look it up and verify. I don't know if he audibly said it or if he just mouthed it, but Johnny Depp looks at Rottenborn like dead in the eye and goes, better? Or like I don't know. I think it was audible. Like the more I remember it, I think it was audible. It was very mockingly like, dude, get over yourself kind of thing, And I like that. And we'll get to it in a second. Actually, it's on this page. Oh, and by the way, I just want to show you guys. I've been getting people to sign my book, and I'm gonna get the other page tomorrow. So that's another thing. We're gonna be auctioning this puppy off when it's over with all of my notes in it, all of my notes in here, including the original notes from last week. We're going to be auctioning this puppy off, and again, all proceeds will go to the Los Angeles hospital. So I don't want to make any money on this part. I want to raise money for the LA Children's Hospital that has not received the pledge from Amber Heard, because a pledge is a donation is a pledge. I understand what she's trying to do. It's not working. Nobody's buying that bullshit. So we're going to try and make up the difference so that the Los Angeles Children's Hospital can get what they deserve. At one point, Johnny Depp's lawyer asks him on direct, Whitney got the dirty end of the stick. What do you mean by that? And he starts talking about what Whitney has been enduring through Johnny Depp's relationship with Amber Heard and him seeing how Amber Heard treats Whitney Heard, her sister, right? Her blood, like throwing wine in her face. When that happened, Whitney gets a note passed by remember that lawyer whose screen I saw yesterday from that firm that is working with them? She passes a note to Whitney right when the whole wine thrown in her face testimony gets thrown around. So whatever that means, take from that what you will. Number 1 and 9 have very furrowed eyebrows for the entire duration of Johnny Depp's testimony. Not for a minute, not for 5 minutes, not for a few seconds. The entirety, like they have this look on their face. Number 9 and number 1 have a furrowed eyebrow, furrowed forehead reaction the entire time that Johnny Depp is on the stand. That was interesting. When Johnny Depp says that Amber Heard used to grab, push, and was very verbal with Whitney, although she never hit her, but she was always verbal with her, and sometimes she would grab and push her around. And when asked, do you mean pushed metaphorically or pushed physically? Both, pushed physically and metaphorically. Number 8 starts writing all that stuff down. And then when the Mandel testimony came in, when he talked about the Mandel testimony, he testifies about the Mandel thing. All jurors are scribbling stuff down, every single one of them, from what I could see. Johnny Depp, at one point, by the way, when he was scanning the room, he noticed, because we got James, Vanessa, me, and Scott. We're all seated right there in the row. And as he's scanning the room, he clearly noticed us and just kind of looked at us for a moment. Now, this was around noon, give or take. I have 12:06 in my notes, but I don't know. Then a couple minutes later, Johnny Depp, I noticed Johnny Depp has been glaring at Rottenborn continuously. And I was trying to figure out what to make of it. And here's my theory. So Johnny Depp is staring at Rottenborn, like not taking his eyes off of him sometimes, even though Rottenborn is not the one asking questions. Don't forget, this is still direct examination, right? Cross, I believe, didn't start until after lunch. I'm pretty positive, right? Yeah. That's the part I didn't tweet about yet. So Johnny Depp glares at Rottenborn continuously, and I'm like, I wonder what is causing him to do that. And I was like, duh, I had like a dumb moment. You got to remember, his reputation is on the line, has been on the line for so many years. And Rottenborn is assisting Amber Heard in achieving her goals of trying to extract more money out of Johnny Depp, right? Wouldn't you be doing the same? Wouldn't you be doing the same thing? If you were in Johnny Depp's shoes and somebody was accusing you of sexual assault, sexual violence, physical violence towards a female, I mean, come on, ever since you were 5 years old, you're like, no, we don't hit girls. We don't hit women. Gentlemen, men, we do not hit girls. Sure, you get into fights sometimes and she may like push you and shove you and yell at you and you yell back. That's one thing. You do not hit girls. That's the number one rule of being a quality man. And Johnny Depp is now being accused of that throughout this whole trial. And Rottenborn is the one helping Amber Heard. Elaine is the one helping Amber Heard achieve her goals of trying to extract money from Johnny Depp with these false allegations. How would you react? So him staring down Rottenborn, because Rottenborn is the one that is currently was the one who to cross-examine, and he's the one who providing all the objections. That's why he was staring down Rottenborn and not like Elaine or some of the other lawyers. So I can understand where he's coming from. I just realized, oh no, never mind. Okay, so when there's a moment when Johnny Depp says, it changed everything. And Rottenborn stands up, objection. Johnny Depp looks at him and goes, oh, it didn't change everything? I swear, The whole gallery erupted with laughter. It was great. Classic Johnny. Um, a few minutes later, number 4, I saw, was resting her eyes a little bit at the bench conference. Then comes the question, right? This is the golden question before we get to the brand new stuff that is not even shared on Twitter yet. Okay. This is stuff, this is going to be brand new stuff in just a minute here. So stick around. None of this is anywhere except in my head and on this notepad. But let's finish up pre-lunch first, real quick. What was it like listening to Amber Heard's testimony in this case? And it gets like an objection. Rottenborn is trying to keep this out because of relevance, issues and stuff like that. I remember asking questions about how did it make you feel, and I always get objected to. It's a standard objection, like relevance. Well, in this case, because it's a defamation trial, it's highly relevant because character, fitness, morality, personality, they're all on the line. If it was just like a DUI case or whatever, criminal case, your emotion about how you felt about getting arrested is completely irrelevant. So when he starts saying, like, it's insane, like these accusations, you could visibly see numbers 1, 7, 8, and 9 all being very sympathetic towards Johnny Depp. Especially when he uses that list of adjectives to describe how Amber Heard's testimony made him feel. Do you remember those? I couldn't write them all down, but those, it felt like 6 to 8 adjectives that he was using to describe. 1, 7, 8, and 9 are all like looking at him with this very emotional, like we're connected. I feel you. I understand you type look on their face. That's what I gathered. I never committed sexual battery or physical abuse. Numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8 are writing stuff down. So see, there you go. There's 5 again. I don't know. Like I said, it's all speculative at this point. Now, finally, the golden moment, right? The golden moment. No matter what happens, when Johnny says, no matter what happens, I told the truth. Or I did tell the truth, excuse me. No matter what happens, I did tell the truth. Number 8 was nodding along with him. So she's the only one, though. I was scanning vigorously, furiously at the whole jury, trying to see if anybody else is nodding. If they did, I missed it. Number 8, I can confirm. She was nodding along with Johnny Depp. It's going to be interesting to see, by the way, when this trial is over, to confirm or deny everything that I've been sharing with you guys the last 2 weeks. If these jurors are going to be interviewed about their impressions, and we're going to see if there's congruence or not. I suspect a lot of this will be very congruent, but time will tell. Then we go to lunch break, and when we come back, the cross-examination of Johnny Depp begins. And here, I already said right before we sat down, I was like, you guys, I looked at James, I looked at Vanessa, I looked at Scott, and I said, you guys, we're about to see fireworks. Now, interestingly enough, by the way, before I forget, I noticed that Chanley, the court TV reporter who I'm friends with now, like she's super cool. They sat Amber Heard's assistant right next to her for the entire trial. Like, that's a power move. I think Vanessa called it out. That's like a strategic move. I didn't even think about that. I need to start paying more attention to these like political things, like not politics, but like inside, like gossip politics or whatever. Not gossip politics. I shouldn't call it that. You guys know what I mean. So in cross-examination, Johnny Depp, they of course bring up everything that he was talking about on direct examination, because they're limited to the scope of direct. They can't start going outside the scope on cross. And this is not only cross-examination of Johnny Depp, this is limited to the stuff that he said on direct, which is also limited by the stuff that he's saying on rebuttal, right? So there's a lot of limitations. So the box is very narrow, and you got to stay within that box. And Rottenborn did. On the train ride, the black eye photo, The photo before the train ride, he shows that. And number 6, I remember he just kind of took off his glasses when that happened. Like he was very interested in what is Rottenborn about to put forth. This was, this is Rottenborn's moment to shine. This is it. This is his like hurrah moment. I have one last chance. I gotta fucking take it. Let's do this. Let's crush this asshole. Let's show he's a lying sack of shit. Let's show he's a wife beater. This is all going through Rottenborn's head. What do we have? And boy, oh boy, did he at least try to deliver. And on some elements, he certainly didn't do poorly. But did it salvage the entire case is the question. I don't think so. I don't think that the tide has turned. Let me tell you why. So when number 6 takes off his glasses and we look at that black eye photo, when Rottenborn goes back and starts saying, wait a minute, there's a photo from, July when you have that same thing. And Johnny interrupts him and goes, no, that's the sun, man. That's like the glare from the thing. Number 8 is visibly annoyed. She is annoyed. And I wrote down, I feel because of Rottenborn's confrontational style, because he doesn't let Johnny speak. You got to understand, sure, rules are rules. Cross-examination is a yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. But jurors don't know and they don't care. They want to get to the truth. They want to get to the bottom of this case. They have a decision they have to make, and they need informed data. They need to be able to make an informed decision. Well, here's the issue. When Rottenborn is cutting Johnny off, when Johnny is trying to provide this essential testimony in order to better portray to the jury of what happened after Rottenborn is firing off questions, of course the jury is going to be very upset when Rottenborn is not giving him an opportunity to give the answer he just asked the question to, right? It's just like, yes or no, just please, yes or no. So number 8 was visibly upset. I wish I was there during direct, the original direct, on not on rebuttal, but during the plaintiff's case in chief, to see if there was a pattern between number 8. But maybe I can ask some people like James who have been in the courtroom who can confirm or deny this for me. So number 8 was visibly annoyed with Rottenborn's confrontational style, and even number 9 appears very displeased as he looks at Rottenborn. So they're both that pair over there are like twinsies, I swear. When Rottenborn says, okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. You answered my question. Number 2 just laughs at one point right when that was said. Number 9, by the way, is just loving this commotion, this back and forth. I have, I think, very sporadic notes because, again, I was so interested in what was happening because this is like I said, this is the final shot. Somebody asked me if it was a mistake to call Johnny Depp back to the stand. My answer is absolutely fucking not. That was the best call they could have made, despite all of this, what I'm about to talk about, because Johnny Depp clarified very essential points for the jury, okay? Very essential points for the jury have been clarified, and now we have an idea of what was inside Johnny's head, and rather than what Amber Heard has been saying this whole time. So Johnny gave us the filler. Johnny clarified a lot of points, and calling him was absolutely essential. It was a good call. I stand by that. Okay. The jury appears, some of them, not all of them, they appear to be intrigued by this. What I wrote down, and I'm sorry, I know you guys are going to hate me for this, but it's the truth. I can't hide from the truth. Some of the jury appears to be intrigued by this Vasquez style cross-examination by Rottenborn, because he's kind of like, he's chopping away, he's getting in, he's getting out, and he's getting the answers he wants, because he takes no prisoners. He just asks the question, confirm or deny. Thank you. Moving on. Next. Hey, bring up exhibit number 1375. Thank you. And this, boom, chop, chop, chop. Okay, thank you. Next exhibit. Bring up exhibit number. And each time it's like contradiction. And as mild as they may be, as powerful as they may be, it's hard to tell whether or not that was enough to salvage the entire case, because the case is not whether or not Johnny Depp was inconsistent on his prior direct when, or is he's contradicting Amber Heard's testimony. That's not the question. The question is whether or not he was defamed. That's it. And if he was, none of this really matters. If they may not even consider this stuff when they go back to deliberate. You know, jurors are mysterious creatures. They may just be like, you know what? I didn't like that hairdo that Amber Heard has been wearing every single day of court. And I believe Johnny had the best hair in the room. And I think he should win $10 million. Everybody agree? Yeah, I concur. That's a pretty good assessment. All right, cool. You know, in theory, that could happen. Obviously, it's very impractical. It's very unreasonable, very illogical, quite unlikely, but it is possible. It is possible. I'm sure cases have been decided on worse. It is a crapshoot, because when jurors go back to deliberate, none of that is recorded. None of that is ever in evidence. Jurors deliberate in secret. You will never know why they decided the way they decided unless they decide after the fact to come out and tell you why they decided the way they decided. But even then, they may still be lying. You know, you never know. So, yeah. Now, I even wrote down, like, Rottenborn is on fire. Rottenborn was on fire today. And Amber Heard, as a result of that, appeared very cheerful during that, when Rottenborn was firing left and right, you know, all those contradictions. Now, interestingly enough, this was around maybe 2:20. I don't know. Johnny has been on the stand for a good 20 minutes. Whitney Heard, I see Whitney Heard walking in late. So about 20 minutes late to Johnny's testimony. I suspect, because I tweeted that Whitney has been caught listening to my conversation with Vanessa and James and Chuck. Yeah. She has been caught, and we have a photo. I don't know if you guys have seen my Twitter. It does. I call him Chuck. Scott. I'm sorry. There's a photo. If you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. It's on my Twitter at KYDUI guy. She kind of turned, and her ear was pointed to our direction as I was whispering to my neighbor. Can I slow chat even more? Yeah, hold on 1 second. Let me slow chat. How much more do I need to slow chat? I can do that, no problem. I can do. How about we do 70 seconds? Is that going to be better? Because I had it set to like 30 seconds. All right. So Whitney was caught. Whitney was caught listening. Now, I also learned today that they were Russians. I had no idea that Amber Heard and Whitney Heard are Russian. And as a fellow Russian, I am embarrassed because I did not. I mean, now that I think about it, I look at them and I'm like, by God, I see it now. I don't know how I didn't see it before. I guess I wasn't thinking about it. The Slavic is definitely showing 100%, 100%. And that kind of threw me off. And it started like a lot of things, because I know my culture very well since I've been in my culture I don't know, 34 years, my entire life. So I'm a little bit familiar with the Russian culture, to say the least. And a lot of things started like making sense about this whole thing. So when I found that out, and I saw Whitney walking in late, like she walked in 20 minutes late, I have a very sneaking suspicion, especially since she was caught listening to me, trying to catch whatever I was saying, which is normal. Again, I don't fault her for doing that. She's doing exactly what I would do in her position, just like I was doing yesterday on the whole screen thing. There's a political game going on, and now somehow I went from being a complete fucking nobody from Kentucky to being in the center of this shit, and I don't know how to get out. I'll get out on Friday. I know that. I'm just gonna leave this madness all behind. I'm sure there's gonna be some trace left, but so be it. So yeah, Whitney walks in late, and I have a very sneaking suspicion that she was probably, because my mates and I were talking, Vanessa and James and all. We were talking. I was like, wait a minute. Is it possible that she was reading my tweets? Is it possible that she left during the, because I just finished tweeting like during the lunch break, and I finished tweeting around like 1:45, 1:50, and she comes in at 2:20. So it took her about half an hour to disseminate the information that I have been providing. It's very possible that they're analyzing the stuff too. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. I would not put it past them. So, but it's a little too late. It's a little too late to truly be able to utilize this information. This information was absolutely vital at the beginning of this trial. But right now, I think that they're analyzing this too. And I think they're seeing it's a moral blow. It is absolutely, positively a moral blow to their cause. And the cause is getting $100 million for Amber Heard, or at least winning with nominal damages, something, anything, right? And I think they're starting to realize that they're on the losing side of the battle, and it's not looking very good for them. So during cross-examination, I found this interesting. 26 minutes in, number 7 and number 9 are kind of like closing their eyes. They're kind of falling asleep. Let me mute this real quick. I'm sorry. I don't know how to mute this. Okay, whatever. Doesn't matter. It might ping periodically. So during cross-examination, 7 and 9 are falling asleep, closing their eyes. Meanwhile, 6 and 8 are very displeased when the judge catches and calls out Rottenborn for messing up her exhibit numbers. I mean, you guys, there's a lot of things you can do in that courtroom as a defense attorney. One thing you don't do is you don't mess with exhibits, and you don't mess with the judge, okay? For the record. Because when you start messing with the judge, even if it was an accident, let's hypothesize a realm of possibility where it was an accident, it still looks absolutely horrific on you. You got to understand that. Excuse me. You got to understand that. You as a lawyer have a duty of candor before the court. And the jury doesn't need to be an expert on lawyering in order to understand that. You see, and when you as a lawyer begin to put forth evidence and information before the court and not being candid about it, even if by mistake, it is going to come back and it is going to bite you in the ass. And it most certainly bit Rottenborn in the ass here today. Because when the judge said, she said the words, you guys remember, like, you can't do this to me. She wasn't kidding. Like, she was visibly upset that Rottenborn has taken like an exhibit and then wrote it in as like number 837, whatever the hell it was. And then he meant, well, I meant 837A, Your Honor. I'm sorry. I meant 837A, whatever the hell it was. It like 6 and 8 were just like, what are you doing? Like, they had that, what are you doing look on their face. And so did the judge. Like, please don't do this. By the way, Piggy, I'm just going to address this real quick just because you brought it up right now. I really want to talk about this for just a minute. Percentage-wise, how confident are you that Johnny Depp will win? I have increased my chances for Johnny Depp. Initially, I was giving him pretty low chances. I did not think that he had very good chances because I was thinking about the law, if you guys remember. I was talking about the law. I was thinking about the law. And the law is very, very difficult in this case because, remember, it's the standard is in defamation is a lot higher. It's not preponderance of the evidence. It is clear and convincing evidence that he, the statement was made, the damages are there, but it's damages per se, so that doesn't really matter. But it's a high standard. And I put Johnny's chances pretty low. I think I testified. I think when I went on Nick's stream, I put Johnny's chances on it maybe 40% at one time. And I was in the minority. Most people were like, he's going to win. People were saying like 60, 65, I think 70. Somebody maybe said 80%. I am changing my answer after today, after what I've witnessed. I guess maybe with Johnny being on the stand and how the jury reacted personally towards Johnny. Maybe if I had been there when Johnny testified, I would have had a different assessment previously. However, my assessment currently, due to the new data that I have received today live in court, if my percentage was originally 40%, it just doubled, you guys. I personally am putting, as of right now, this is May 25th at 7:17 p.m., hot off the press, you heard it here first. I am putting Johnny Depp's chances of winning at 80%, and the verdict is going to be $7 million. $7,000,000,000.00. That is going to be his verdict. I'm saying that right now, and there are two reasons for that. So number one, why 80%? Why did I just double? What happened, right? I'll come back to the jury analysis in just a minute, you guys. I promise I'm not going to leave you hanging. There's still about 2.5 hours of notes to go through, about 5 pages. Why do I think that? So number one, why did I change my mind? Why did I just go from 40 to 80? Again, seeing the jurors' reactions, seeing how they react to Johnny as a person is a telltale sign on whose side they're on, especially since I can compare it with the reaction to Amber Heard, because I was in the courtroom when Amber Heard was testifying as well. So that is one thing. Now, the other thing that I've seen today is how they are reacting to Rottenborn and the other lawyers when they were basically, well, when Rottenborn was attacking Johnny, and how Johnny was reacting back to Rottenborn, and how Johnny was looking at Elaine or Rottenborn or anybody else who was cross-examining a witness that they had put on. It's just, you start to get a feel, after 5 days. And defamation is not my line of work. You guys know I'm the DUI guy. My specialty is DUIs. My cross-examination skills are not just limited to that, but they definitely have been polished specifically on criminal cases. So seeing much more data about the two main witnesses. Now I have Johnny Depp and I have Amber Heard, both on the stand, and I've seen how the jury feels towards them, right? This is called emotional intelligence, empathy. Some people have it, some people don't. I'd like to think that I've gotten to be pretty good at it. I used to be absolutely horrendous at it. It takes skill, it takes practice. You get better at it with time if you do this stuff long enough. So how the jury reacted, I think his chances have increased significantly in my own eyes. Some people have been saying 80 since the beginning. Whatever. I'm in your camp now too. Okay, I have shifted my opinion officially. I am putting Johnny Depp's chances at 80%. Now, why so high? 80% because the more I see Amber Heard's witnesses compared to Johnny Depp's witnesses, it appears that Johnny Depp's witnesses have, well, they just come from a higher caliber of an individual. Much more polished, much more professional, much more outspoken, much more well-received collectively to add to on top of what Johnny Depp and Amber Heard personally have both brought to the table. Okay, so those are the two key aspects. Now, why 7 million? The jury knows two things. Number one, they probably know Amber Heard doesn't have any money, but they don't care about that. She brought these allegations. They're false. I think they're going to come to the conclusion that they're false. She's got to pay. She's got to pay. Now, why 7 million? Why not give her more, right? Well, it's a statement. They're going to be making a statement. This is what, Johnny, you had to pay in the divorce settlement. I think Nick said it first, and now I'm repeating it. This is how much he got paid. This is how much he had to pay Amber in the divorce settlement, and they're going to make a statement like, look, honey, you fuck with a man's reputation, you try and take away his life. Oh, you didn't go for more? It doesn't matter. You're just going to have to give it back. It's the fair thing to do. You fucked up. You shouldn't have done this. You defamed him, and now you have to pay. Now, they're not going to give him 50. They're not going to give him 40. That's too much. 30, 20. They're going to think, look, what's fair? Because jurors are all about fairness, the concept of equality, the concept of justice, the concept of fairness, the concept of what is the just thing to do in this case for an individual who has been defamed publicly, his reputation destroyed, and now finally redeemed. What should we do? And the answer is make him whole. Now, he's already been, there's only so much they can do. We can make him whole monetarily through the money that he has taken from his pocket in the divorce settlement to give to Amber. Sure, she could have asked for more. If she did ask for more, we would have given him back more. But she asked for 7. Give back what you've taken from Johnny. And the reputation hopefully has been restored once they're out of that room and the deliberations are done. Then Johnny will finally be made whole once again. And like I said, there are 2 trials going on right now, right? There's the trial of public opinion, and there's the trial in Fairfax County District Courthouse. The trial of the public opinion has already been won and lost. Won by Johnny, lost by Amber. The trial in Fairfax County District Courthouse will conclude at noon on Friday, May 27th, on Johnny Depp's daughter's birthday. And the jury will start deliberations. They're going to be excused, I don't know at what time, on Friday. And then Saturday, Sunday, and Monday is a holiday, Memorial Day. The jury comes back on Tuesday to deliberate. Now, one question you did not ask me, and I will just say real quick. Oh my goodness, I forgot what I was going to say. I lost my train of thought. Anyway, maybe it'll come back to me. But anyway, let's get back to the analysis, right? The long text. Remember the long text that was displayed to Johnny when he was talking allegedly about Mollusk, talking about Elon Musk, of course. Number 2 looks very cheerful for some reason. Number 5 is sleepy, and number 8 is writing stuff down. Then he asks, Rottenborn asks Johnny the question, this is your first time to tell the truth. You said that. And that is not true, right? Even the judge kind of like scratches her head. Like, what are you talking about? When else did he have a chance to testify? And he was redeemed on redirect, as you all saw. When Rottenborn, at some point, Johnny says something, and Rottenborn objects, and he says, "Objection, Your Honor, calls for a legal conclusion." That was with respect to the UK trial. I can't remember the exact question. You guys probably remember. Johnny, and that objection gets overruled immediately by the judge. Penny, she's great. I think she's a very fair judge. I like her. Johnny Depp looks at Rottenborn and goes, "You'll be okay." It's these little snarky, snide remarks that Johnny makes that are just so fantastic and phenomenal, and add a lot of element of character to the whole trial, to the whole experience. No wonder some of the deputies, when you walk in, they say, "Welcome, enjoy the experience." Sometimes, and you're just like, it's like going on a roller coaster ride almost, for some people. I can understand that. This one I'm not going to say. This one I'm going to tweet because it's just a funny that I've noticed. Johnny Depp has a very puzzled look on his face at Rottenborn's objection at one point, and I have the timestamp. It's at 2:45. It even made me chuckle because he was testifying and he was just saying something, and Rottenborn was like, "Objection," and Johnny was just kind of like, I can't even do it. Like, he furrows his eyebrows so well. He has that, like, I can't even do it, but it's just like, what the hell did you just, why are you objecting? Johnny looked very confused. That made me chuckle. Now, the entire time Johnny Depp is on the stand, Amber Heard is passing like little sticky notes about this big, and I don't know what's written on them. I can't see from that far away, but they're like entire essays written out. Like there's like 15 lines in this one little sticky note. And it's crazy. She's passing like entire essays to Rottenborn in courtroom during Johnny Depp's testimony. Now, there was one moment, I don't know if you all caught it during the trial, where there was a phone number on one of the messages, the Molly one. The entire courtroom, when they saw that, had an audible, like an audible gasp. And I remember somebody sent this to me. Actually, multiple people sent this to me. They were like, "Oh my God, you got to get this to Amber Heard's team, like as much as you can." Guys, I'm not connected with them like that. Okay, yet, maybe never. It doesn't matter. Not for this trial for sure. But I know it said like on the receiving end, on the whole objection, not objection. The whole point was that the lawyer should have made a point of the fact that the text was being received by Johnny. It said incoming, right? You guys remember that? It said incoming, not outgoing. And yeah, when he said Molly, I thought he was talking about drugs, like the drug Molly, ecstasy, because we talked about Molly, MDMA. That was never brought up either. I couldn't quite understand. I couldn't quite understand why they didn't bring it up. Now, I didn't notice that in the courtroom. I noticed that after the fact. But just the fact that they had a phone number on there that they accidentally forgot to redact was a really big oopsie. A really, really big oopsie. And that was this on redirect? I think it was on redirect. Now, during Johnny Depp's testimony here at this moment, this is like 240, like 249, 250, give or take. Number 5's head is like cocked to the left when Johnny Depp's talking about the phone testimony on redirect. Okay, so now it's redirect here. And then the final question, did you ever physically abuse Miss Heard? And he says never, and number 8 visibly nods. Like, again, this is like the second time she nodded. You guys remember the first time she nodded on direct examination, no matter what happens, I did tell the truth. You guys remember that? The visible nod? Well, once again, when the lawyer asks on redirect the final question, did you ever physically abuse Ms. Heard? Never. Number 8 nods. That's it. I think we pretty much have all but confirmation where number 8's head is. Pretty confident about number 9 too. Possibly 4, possibly 5, possibly 7. 7 seems to be Johnny Depp. 2 seems to be Johnny Depp. 1 is a crapshoot. I think he's nerdy enough to maybe be on Johnny Depp's camp. Number 3 is literally a roll of the dice. Who did I leave out? Number 6, I think, is Johnny Depp, based on the limited data that we have. So who knows? Who knows? After Johnny Depp takes a seat back at counsel table, he gets a little pat on the back from Chu. Ben Chu kind of gives him a pat on the back. That was kind of really sweet to watch. Now we get to the highlight of the day, for obviously various reasons, as you all know. We get to Tremaine from TMZ. So before the break, and everybody was kind of yelling at me, not metaphorically, not physically, but like I checked my messages later, and I have like 100 tweets and 50 tweet messages and 30 texts and everything telling me like, dude, you got to get back into that courtroom. Get back into that courtroom. They're arguing. I was like, relax, you guys. The jury's out. I'm mostly out there for the juror reactions. I'm hungry. I need to do this. I need to tweet. I'm busy. So they're like, oh, they're arguing at TMZ. I don't care. All I care about is the result, really, at the end of the day, because the jury's out of the room. I know they're not coming back until after lunch. I'm not too worried about it, so it all worked out. They put Tremaine on the stand because they lost the motion. TMZ tried to intervene, saying he shouldn't testify. Without even listening to it, I already know it's a bullshit argument. It's a bullshit argument to prevent a witness from testifying about something that they have personal knowledge of on the basis that it may be irrelevant or confidential or whatever. Good luck. Good luck. Tremaine did not ask for his 15 minutes of fame, but he certainly fucking got it. I'll tell you that much. And he's right. Like, he may have a target on his back. TMZ might come after him now. Who knows? That's between him and TMZ. Never in my life would I think that at 7:30 in the evening, after watching a trial, I'll have 27,000, by the way, mother of God, people watching, and I'll be uttering the words like TMZ and Johnny Depp and Tremaine and Amber Heard. Anyway, but I'm in it to win it. So cheers to you guys with my ginger ale. Don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, by the way. So let's keep going. Tremaine. Fucking Tremaine. Tremaine is my new hero. You know, I thought Knight was my hero, which, by the way, I will do a separate stream, or I might even do it on this one. I don't know. We'll see. Tremaine is my hero because Tremaine has brought personality, character, feistiness, reality, and power to the trial, to Johnny Depp's testimony, even on cross. I mean, I think Elaine did a very poor job in either preparing for this cross or what was no. It was the airport lady that reached out the day before. That saw the altercation, which that was magnificent. Nobody was ready for that. Even Johnny Depp's team was not ready for that, obviously, as it happened last minute. We'll get to her in a moment. But Tremaine, like 6 days prior, reaches out and he's like on top of it to share very important stuff. Now, I was waiting for a moment when Tremaine would open his mouth and say, I received a call from Amber Heard. Like, I was literally waiting for that. As I'm sure all of you guys were. We're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, like gnawing at your teeth, right? Well, I was waiting for Tremaine to say, yep, I received word that Amber Heard is at the courthouse filing a TRO. And who did you receive the call from? I received the call from Amber Heard. And the whole courtroom would literally just fucking fall to the floor. I think the gods would stop breathing. The courthouse would collapse because of structural damage due to the fumes coming out of Amber Heard's ears. It would be the end of the world. It would literally be the end of the world. Everything, the entire case would have been crushed in an instant. But we never got there. We never got to that moment. We got as close as we could, though, so let's go through it. When Tremaine takes the stand and he starts testifying about who he is, what he does, all jurors are scribbling, every single one of them. And then we're talking about the May 27, 2016 assignment that Tremaine had with respect to the TRO. Again, all jurors are just writing nonstop. They will not stop writing. Again, I think they're all waiting. Is this the golden moment? Did Amber Heard call it in? Was she the one that made the phone call? Was she that stupid to make the phone call? Like, who did she call? How were they informed? What happened? How did we get the information? Who got the information? How is it related to Amber Heard? Well, we didn't get there. We did not get there. He said that it was a TMZ producer, I think, that let him know that he received the call. So he received the call from a TMZ producer. So that was his reputable source. And that was enough for him. And he was told, go get a crew and get... I wish they would have subpoenaed the TMZ producer. Can you imagine how devastating it would have been if the TMZ producer were subpoenaed and testify like, yeah, I got the call from Amber Heard's handler or something like that. It doesn't even have to be Amber Heard directly. Amber Heard's handler called me and therefore I created a crew and sent them. So it was a news producer. But he said enough. Exactly. He said enough. So they used that to their advantage, and that was fantastic. And on cross-examination of Tremaine, I've noticed, by the way, again, Johnny Depp really likes to stare down Elaine. Really likes to stare her down. Because when she's asking questions of Tremaine, Johnny, again, he's got this, I'm going to turn this way. Johnny's got this look on his face. He's like, what do you got? What do you got? He'll just stare her down. Sometimes Vasquez will join him. Or excuse me, Vasquez. Ms. Vasquez will join him, and they'll both be like staring at her like, come on, Elaine. They'll do that to Rottenborn too. Let's do this. What do you got? It's actually really funny to watch. It's very, as a plaintiff, I can understand why they're doing that. I mean, for the jury, if the jury was seeing this, it would be kind of not very. I would be critical of it if the jury could see their eyes and what they're doing, but because the jury's behind them when they're doing that, I'm okay with it. It's a strategical power move. It's a power move to show dominance, to show power. Like, we are in control here. You've got nothing. It's like Ben Chu, coming over, taking the bag of candy and like putting some of it on defense counsel's table in the morning. Like, you guys are gonna need these. You guys are gonna need these in about 5 minutes. I'm just letting you guys know right now. It's gonna be bad for you guys today, and you'll see why. So that was quite illuminating. That was quite illuminating. And then, of course, I wrote this down, but now I realize that I've officially become a meme, and it's apparently going viral. But when Elaine asks Tremaine, so you came here because you wanted your 15 minutes of fame, didn't you? And he goes, no, I'm actually potentially a target now because TMZ is very litigious, and meaning they like to sue people, and they could come after me. So actually, I could say the same thing about you, Elaine, representing Amber Heard, or whatever he said. The entire courtroom, including myself, you saw my reaction, gasped. That was like a fuck me moment for Elaine. Like, even her face said it all. You saw her face, her facial reaction during it. Like, she was just kind of like very uncomfortably smiling, like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? Like, I should not have asked that question. I didn't expect, I saw a bark, but I didn't expect a bite, and the motherfucker bit me back. Like, that's the kind of reaction that she had, and it was absolutely glorious. And then when on redirect, the question was asked, did you have any idea that you were going to be in this lawsuit? Because he was joined in at the last minute 6 days ago. And he says, no, he had no idea he was even going to be in this lawsuit. He just came to like provide testimony, to speak the truth, to fill in gaps for the jury. Every single juror is writing stuff down. And then we come to the direct examination of, I have Brian. Neumeister, right? Neumeister. I think his last name is Neumeister. He was the last one, right? Cross of Brian. Oh, and there's Leonard. Leonard and Brian. Okay, so Brian Neumeister. Oh, and by the way, there was a moment during Neumeister's testimony. I got to fill you guys in on this. This is another one you will definitely will not be able to pick up on your screens, even on 100 rewatches. Court TV's producer, right? Not Chanley. Chanley is always there, seated next to what we later learned to be is apparently Amber Heard's handler. Like, she's her personal assistant. She has a personal assistant. Why does Johnny not have a personal assistant and Amber Heard does? That's what I'd like to know. Because Johnny has bodyguards, but I've never seen him with an assistant. Amber Heard has like a personal assistant, and this personal assistant sits in the third row, right? Because first row is all the lawyers, second row is the photographer and the sketch artist. Which, by the way, I don't know the sketch artist's name. I haven't had a chance to talk to her yet. The art pieces that she's working on, you guys, are phenomenal. They are so good. They're so creative. They're so beautiful. She captures the courtroom in a way I've never seen anybody capture a live courtroom scene before. It's like I don't know. It's like she's creating this magnificent view of a courtroom that I have never personally seen before. So when she starts selling this stuff, go buy it. Whatever she is, at Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial sketch artist, whatever her tag may be. So when the court TV producer tried to sit down, she tried to like go past the assistant. The assistant was like, no, I'm sorry, you can't sit here. And she was kind of confused for a minute. And she went back and she talked to the bailiff and was like, can you? And then she brought the bailiff back with her, and the bailiff was like, yeah, no, she can sit here. Very rude by Amber Heard's assistant. Like, since who are you to be like dictating who can sit where in the courtroom? Very, very uncool. I did not like that at all once I learned who that lady was, because initially I thought she was like a spy for Amber Heard sent to listen in on our conversation, because she was seated very close to us. But then James said, no, he was laughing at me, because I could have sworn that Amber Heard is sending spies to listen to our conversation, because we have intel. We have intel, very valuable intel, that Amber Heard is probably hungry for, her and her team. And if you guys on Amber Heard's team are watching right now, hello. I know you probably are, because this is very, very valuable stuff. If you're not watching it, I'll be highly surprised, because this is juice that you can't get anywhere else. Primarily, I'm doing this, of course, for Johnny Depp, his team, and Johnny Depp fans. But unfortunately, the internet is public, and everybody has access to it. So it is what it is. I even accidentally tried to give my business card to the assistant before, like, I realized who she was. I think it was on Monday. And I kind of walked past her because she was seated next to the court TV lady. At the time, I didn't know her name, reporter, but she was seated next to Chanley. And I was like, oh, it's two people from court TV. And I started passing her my business card. And she looks at me and she's like, I don't think I can take that. And I go, oh, okay, all right. And I move on. And I was like, well, I wonder what her beef was. Later, I learned. Okay. We don't have all that much left, so let's finish up here. We got some really juicy stuff to finish up on. At 3:25, not Johnny Depp's, I'm sorry, Amber Heard's lawyer looks very visibly nervous as he starts objecting to Neumeister's testimony. Really, really nervous. I don't know if it was just because he was new to cross-examination. I don't know. Like, he barely participated in this trial. From what we heard, talking to other people, we kind of learned that he doesn't really participate. He usually sits in the back. I've noticed that he usually sits in the back. He doesn't really partake. And this time he did partake with a pretty big role. I mean, he was cross-examining Neumeister. And as Neumeister is testifying about the Photos 3.0 editing software and editing photos, Chu very casually. I love Ben Chu's psychological mind games, because this is a lawyer of a very, very high caliber, and you can tell, because not only does he do great directs, not only does he do great crosses, not only does he do great arguments, he also understands the psychological element of what it takes. Like, what do you do to demoralize the opposing side? Like, the candy dump early on in the morning before anybody has even walked into the courtroom other than the lawyers and the gallery. And Chu can be seen kind of casually glancing over at counsel's table, and he stares. He doesn't do like one of these and then looks back. No, it is clear what he's doing. He's like, huh? Yeah, what do you guys think of that, huh? Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, we got this motherfucker. He's heard your case, didn't he? You like that? You like that? Like, this is what I imagine his thoughts to be when he does that. And it's magnificent. Now, as he does that, to check on their reactions, by the way, I noticed that Amber Heard's are literally not moving. When he has that video of the images that flip in what I thought was saturation, and I think what everybody thought was saturation, even though it wasn't mentioned. And Amber Heard literally looks like she's made of stone. Like, she is so rock solid, she can't even move. And so are her lawyers. So Amber Heard's, by the way, I didn't notice that. Vanessa noticed that. Shout out to you, Vanessa. And I asked her, like, do you mind if I share this? Because I would have never noticed that, but for you telling me. And she's like, go ahead, I don't care. So I'm going to share it. She noticed that Amber Heard's lawyer's teal tie, did you guys catch that? His teal tie matches the teal suit on Johnny Depp's lawyer. Like, what are the odds of that? Like, how did they possibly, like, it's almost like they coordinated this by ESP this morning. Like, okay, so you're going to wear the green. I'm sorry, it looks a little green, but it's teal, I'm being told by my female companion. It's teal. I'm like, okay, so that color is teal. Fantastic. I'll call it teal. But it's a very, very particular shade of teal. Like she said, if it were both black, it would be like, okay, what a coincidence. Both red, whatever, pink, blue, it would be like, what a coincidence. But it's like the exact same shade of teal. Both his tie and her suit were the exact same shade of teal. Like, they were matching. They were matching, and I thought, and they were going up against each other. It was like the perfect, like, the universe was calling out, like, you guys are going to be in this together. And they're like, yes, very, very fascinating. And then we go on break. We come back. It's 4:00. They play the video by the expert. Vasquez is smiling to her teammates after it's played. So Vasquez really liked it. She was very happy. This is one of the videos that the expert was testifying about. Then we come to the cross-examination of Brian. And once again, here we go. Both Johnny Depp and Camille Vasquez do the, I'm going to turn. They do the stare down. Like, what do you got, buddy? What do you got? Psychological torture, psychological torment to a side that is already crippled, already losing, already crumbling. And now you get stares, challenging stares. Huh? How are you going to do this? How are you going to get out of this one, huh? Yeah, we caught you. We caught you red-handed, and we have an expert to show that. What do you got? It's just glorious, magnificent. Lots of lessons to be learned from this trial for a fellow attorney like myself. And then when he says, oh my God, he pulled in Elaine. He pulled in Elaine when he says, Your Honor, objection or whatever. And then she goes, okay, all right, objection overruled. Ask the question again. And he goes, I'm sorry, Your Honor, I can't recall the question. I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Not again. We got another one. Their entire team is so demoralized. They're literally falling apart before our eyes. Like, we're witnessing them fall apart. The whole audience and the entire gallery just audibly gasps. So Neumeister did some serious damage, and the lawyer definitely did not help. So I thought in the middle of his cross-examination of Neumeister that lawyer was going to pass out, like mid-questioning. And I even said, I wrote down, I feel for him. because you're in a losing battle, in a losing war, but he maintained his composure as best as he could. And at one point, around 422, I just made this note. I don't even remember what they were talking about at that moment. Obviously, it was still like photograph testimony about, oh, it was not the metadata, but trying to prove, you guys can look this up. It's at 422. So it'll be 421, 422 probably. It's when Johnny, bloody hell, Mr. Neumeister was talking about trying to explain how these images are not the same image and here's why. And like the lawyer was trying to pin him down. And he's like, no, you don't understand. That's not how it works. You're cornering me into a question I cannot answer. Johnny Depp was so mad. I don't have my glasses here. They're in the car. Johnny Depp was so mad. He, in the middle of the lawyer's asking questions, he takes his glasses off and again just stares at him like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, give up vibes, you know? Like, it's enough. Enough is enough. He's staring him down angrily, condescendingly. It's his, like, what else you got, face, you know? And then Brian concludes. And then we come to Leonard. Now, despite the fact that Tremaine was very, very helpful, I was waiting for an explosion from Tremaine. It came, but it was muffled, other than the blow to Elaine's ego and the blow to the ego of the entire team. Elaine's was a little muffled. Tremaine's testimony was a little muffled. I cannot say the same about Leonard. Leonard brought home the cake. She brought home the beef. She delivered. And boy, oh boy, did she deliver with flying colors. Because she appears by video testimony from Arizona, right? You guys who have seen it, you guys know. How do you know Amber Heard? As soon as that question gets asked, again, Chu, I swear, he pulls no punches, metaphorically and mentally. He starts staring down their camp again, Amber Heard's camp. Every single juror is writing down stuff furiously as Leonard is testifying remotely from Arizona. When she says, Amber Heard ripped something from her companion's neck, and she was aggressive. They're still writing. Ripped something from companion's neck. They're writing. Aggressive. She appeared aggressive towards her companion. They're still writing. They continue to write. At one point, then she goes, pulled the necklace off of the her companion. I mean, that, because at first, remember, she said ripped something, and then she said no, she pulled a necklace off of her companion's neck. Imagine the force, right? The force that Amber Heard had to use. And the allegation was that she never got into a fight. And there you go. We have an outside, unbiased witness. There was a question there that even Vanessa asked me about, like, why did they ask that question? There was a question in there of basically, what do you have to gain from this? And she said nothing. I heard about this yesterday, and I reached out via email, and you guys got in touch with me, and I just wanted to make sure that the truth gets out. That was a huge, huge, huge blow to Amber Heard's case, because now we have a situation where her story is now filled with holes, at least on that one minor end. And everybody's been asking, why didn't they talk about the arrest, right? Because I understand she got arrested after that incident happened. Well, the problem is Leonard may be the wrong witness. You have to remember, a witness can only testify to things they have personal knowledge of, that they've seen, heard, smelled, tasted, etc. Unless they're an expert witness, then they can offer their opinion. Leonard is not an expert witness, and she can only testify to the things that she has personally witnessed. And the things that she has personally witnessed is Amber Heard having a scuffle with her female companion and ripping off her necklace. And once that was in the record, I mean, maybe the police arrived after Leonard was gone and she was not privy to the arrest. Have you ever thought of that? It is very possible that Leonard was simply not there when Amber got arrested. Or even if she was, maybe she didn't have enough details. My guess is she probably had no knowledge, no personal identifiers to say, yes, I was there and I saw Amber Heard get arrested after that incident occurred. And it's not uncommon. It's not uncommon. Leonard was the officer. Oh, no, she worked. No. She worked at the airport. She is not the cop. She is not the officer. She is an employee of the airport. I don't know where you guys are getting your information, but I can tell you right now, she is not a police officer. So with all of this done, the plaintiff has, according to the judge, has 7 hours and 8 minutes remaining on the clock, whereas the defendant has 1 hour and 16 minutes. That is a huge margin. But tomorrow it's over. Tomorrow is the final day. Tomorrow is the finale. 7 hours and 8 minutes for the plaintiff, 1 hour and 16 minutes for the defense, and that's it. We'll see the witnesses that they called tomorrow. So what I'm going to do two things. First of all, I want to read some super chats, and then we're going to go into the tweets that I tweeted yesterday, but did not get a chance to live stream. And finally, we'll do some more super chats after that. How about that? Does that sound good to everybody? So hopefully we'll get some more on that arrest tomorrow. Maybe they're going to call the police officer. I think it's going to be very, very interesting. So let's go back. Let's read some super chats. That you guys have been sending. I'm loving your jury analysis. A Star is Born. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Kat, question. Are you sure Amber Heard is Russian? Googled an article came up about Paulina Glenn that JD apparently dated after. Okay. I think those two are not really related, but am I sure that Amber Heard is Russian? I don't know. Johnny called her Russian and in one of the texts that I saw today, and I'm like, she might be of Russian descent. It's very possible. Franco Caballero, you're a professional in the field and bringing the gap to the masses with insight. Totally normal, in my opinion. You're the man. Thank you so much, my brother. Really, really appreciate that. Feel free to drop questions in the chat with your super chats. I'm going to be reading those. Did you notice the messages that Rottenborn said Johnny sent says incoming at the top? Yes, I did. We covered that. Percentage-wise, we covered that. Did Amber's psycho smile during Johnny's direct affect the jury, or did they notice it? Or did Amber's psycho smile during Johnny's direct affect the jury? I don't think so. I don't know if they noticed. Thank you for the super chat. Have you seen the messages JD was shown during cross from Steven? They were in. Yeah. Okay. Yep. We covered that. Question: if no party, she'd give statement. Why is Amber Heard? If no party should give statement, why is Amber Heard required to give statement? I'm not exactly sure what you're asking here, my friend. I'm sorry. Try again. How much time does each team have left? I already said that. How will it affect them tomorrow? Well, the defense only has just slightly over an hour to cross-examine and put on witnesses. That is exactly what I think. $7 million, and he will give it all to the Children's Hospital in LA. Very possible. Very possible. Mike Treat, do you feel putting JD back on the stand was a good idea? Yes, I already talked about that. He filled in the gaps. It was good, and that's why. Those text messages used during cross, yes, we covered that as well. Let's see what else we've got. What do you think will happen if Amber Heard wins? Disaster, catastrophe, and sadness will cover all across the world. Will Johnny Depp's team have a chance to show that the Molly texts were sent to and not from? No, that ship has sailed, I think. I think that ship has sailed, unfortunately. Wow, thank you, Ms. Blondie, for the generous no-no. I can't thank you enough for your time and commentary. I'm a fellow Russian-American grandparents from Russia. Definitely feel better after your journey analysis. Justice for Johnny. Awesome. Thank you. I think she is writing their questions for them. I think she is writing their questions for them. Oh, Amber? Maybe. Probably. She's giving them information that they can use. Does Amber ever put her chin down? Sometimes. When she sits at council table. Rarely. It might have been Duder's phone for subpoena for Duder's phone, but I'm not sure. Okay. How about 7 million plus legal fees? The jurors don't know what the legal fees are because no one has ever argued them yet. It might happen in closing. What, if any, changes have you seen in juror number 5 after today? Still Amber Heard leaning? Well, today I actually started coming to that conclusion, but I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Welcome, Ms. Mel, as a member. Thank you for the super sticker, Helen. He ultimately did get 15 minutes thanks to Elaine. That's for damn sure. You got us 15 seconds. Thank you for the super sticker, Connie, with a 50 euros. Yikes. So cool. Really interesting perspective from the courtroom. You're welcome. Thanks for this. You're welcome. When Elaine was cross-examining Dr. Curry and just started to repeat the same questions she did last cross, does she not know how bad it went for her last time, or did she forget? It was so annoying. Exactly. I agree. It was very annoying. Thank you for the super sticker, Chris. Thank you for the super sticker, Susan. Or Suzanne, excuse me. E-watching. You should go watch the TMZ argument. It was wild. TMZ lawyer never heard at the same table, and it's a complete panic. It was wild and funny. Watch it. Okay, I will. I just don't have time right now. I got to do this, and then I have to sleep. I'll do it like Saturday or something. Thank you, Thomas, for the super sticker. The 15 minutes was all the jury needed regarding hearing TMZ. Yes. Yes. Very, very much true. Can we get a reaction on a t-shirt? Maybe eventually. It's just such poor pixelated quality right now. That's the best I could do, but eventually we may be able to get like 4K quality. Victoria says there was a moment on the last witness during cross where Johnny whips around angrily and glares at Sweet Camille places her hand on his arm, says it's okay. Yeah, that's when he took his glasses off. I talked about that. Welcome, Paulette, as a new member. Welcome, Rita, as a new member. Megan says, jury reaction to TMZ guy calling Elaine the pot to his kettle. For damn sure. Saw you in trial footage, counselor. I loved your reaction to the zinger towards Elaine. Hey, it just came to me naturally. What can I say? I don't think he forgot that he purposely did it. Maybe. I'm not exactly sure what you're referring to, though. TMZ guy said when the owner of the video gives him the video, it takes 15 minutes to clear and publish. And Ember's video was published in 15 minutes. Connect the dots. Yep, connect the dots game. Debbie, thank you for becoming a new member. Thank you for the super sticker, Janet. How about the manslaughter charge? Is there any truth to that on Amber Heard? Nothing. All right. Welcome, Paulette Poirier. Welcome, Rita Castillo. True reaction to... Oh, wait. Hold on. I'm sorry. I already did these. We got that one. Yep. Sorry, I got a little thrown off here because there's a lot of messages and they're coming very fast. Okay, manslaughter. All right. I know $5 is not going to help a lot, but at least a small coffee or awesome gave us a great insight inside. You worked as fuck. AF. Yep. She is the arresting officer. She was working at the airport, couldn't be brought in due to prior motions. Oh, okay. So motions. Thank you, Kat. Says, love you, Larry. Finally got to see you live. Love from Japan. Thank you, more. Laura, thanks for the dono. Angela Weston, if he wins, how do you think her response will be? She'll be upset, clearly. Do all 7 jurors have to vote Johnny for his win? Yes. That'd be unanimous. How does the court decide the jurors will be released and kept? At random. I have mixed feelings after Johnny's cross. Like Rottenborn was really getting under his skin and learned from his first cross. It didn't look good, in my opinion. I don't know. I think it did. I think it looked better. Other than seeing Johnny get riled on cross, the only other thing I didn't like was there was no mention of muffins during Dr. Curry's cross. Well, you're limited on cross to the scope of direct, so they already talked about the muffins. Now it was time to talk about the dinner. Loenkram is posting statements by Amber Heard's source. I don't know what those statements are. Please share, Tracy, if you know. Beverly Leonard was in baggage but not working in baggage. There are several articles dating back 6+ years identifying her as the arresting officer but was prohibited from disclosing during testimony. Yeah, so that was excluded. Hire Brian, the image expert, to enhance meme peak for a t-shirt. All I know about witnesses I learned from you and my cousin Vinny. Love ya. Enjoy Bodaya. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, wait. Oh, you sent it twice. Or is that the same one? I don't even know. It might be bugging. Thank you, Chad, for the super sticker. OMG, campaign for everyone to take to Twitter and report all the people reposting the Molly tweet that shows Johnny's number. Rottenborn should face repercussions for this. Justice for Johnny. Yeah. I don't think that was an accident. So that's probably what it was. I don't think it was an accident. It was intentional. That is so nasty. That is so nasty to do that, you guys. God. Philip, the flight attendant, is a witness for Johnny Depp. It's bad for Amber, or it's bad for Amber. The worst possible thing. Johnny Depp didn't pressure to wrist. Amber Heard was assaultive. Okay, I guess we'll see tomorrow. I accidentally sent a blank super chat. Oh, okay, I see that, Laura. But I'm wondering what your take is on the question that Camille asked the one witness about Amber's sexuality. It seemed a little weird. She can ask whatever she wants. Was it too much? Unnecessary, maybe. But I trust Camille. She probably had a reason for it. She wanted that idea in the jurors' minds because they were like, I'm sure the jury was going like, wait, why did she have a female companion? And then when she asked the question about sexuality, they're going, oh, she might be a lesbian. That's it. That question has achieved its purpose. Boom. Did the jury get the fact that Amber Heard's lawyers ultimately edited the photos themselves by changing it from Apple Photo to Windows Photo just to show in court? I think so. Question, why didn't Depp's lawyers call objection more or hearsay or better yet badgering, Your Honor? It wasn't necessary. They did their job. They did a good job. Michelle, thank you for joining. Salute to all female Army veterans. Salute. Gloria, thank you for the sticker. Should Johnny Depp ask for $1 in closing? Absolutely not. That's not what you do. Now, you may get $1, but you should never ask for $1 because you will get $1. Ashley, thank you for becoming a member. What was the jury reaction to the Hicksville guy? Morgan, I think it was pretty funny. Oh, yeah, Knight. We'll get there. We will get there. Elon Musk will be known as Mollusk from now on. To me, because of Rick and Morty, he's always Elon Tusk. New York Post report, Beverly Leonard was arresting officer. Okay. Sandy, $2. Thank you. Kelly, thank you for the dono. Does the jury get to take their notes home to review? No. Do they stay at the courthouse? Yes. Do they keep them after the trial is over? No. And one question you did not ask, they don't get to use their notes while they're deliberating because notes are not evidence. You can't take them back. You can only use what's in here. They can take notes while they're listening to the testimony and review them. After they go back to deliberate, those notes go bye-bye. TMZ producers said that they knew what side to take the photos to get Amber's bruise. Jury got it. Oh, yeah, 100%. Leonard was the arresting officer. Had to tailor testimony to stay away from inadmissible evidence such as arrest. Okay. Do you think the jury will think those JD texts are fake since AH altered photos? Maybe. Maybe. Can't stop watching DUI guy reacting to TMZ guy video. You're the best. Thank you so much, man. You're the best. Carly, how did the jury react to TMZ metadata in airport? I don't think I have notes on that, to be honest. If I didn't mention it, that means I don't have notes on it. I was already tired. I must have zoned out or something. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't have a single note. I'm sorry, you guys. I must have, when Brian took the stand, I guess I kind of tuned out. I mean, the jury was attentive. I can tell you that. The jury was attentive, but nothing spectacular. Otherwise, I probably would have written it down. I was paying attention more to the lawyers because the lawyers were the ones filled with energy, especially Chu and Vasquez and Johnny. Okay. Yep, I got that now. When the jury left for lunch, when Johnny was in the stand, judge made a joke about not breaking anything. Was that to the jury? I have no idea. I already left. I was hungry. How did the jury react to the dramatic collapse on those two identical photos? Not very much. I mean, I think they got it. That's the whole point. They weren't like shocked or in awe. You know what that tells me, by the way? The fact that the jurors, when they saw the photos in that video and they're like, wow, it's the same photo and it looks like the same photo, it was already confirming things that they've already suspected, just like the rest of us. They're human beings, you guys. You got to remember, they're just like us. We are watching through a lens that is filtered through the internet. They're watching through their own lenses that are independent from any outside, looking in stuff. But just the fact that they didn't have like a gasp reaction doesn't lead me to believe that like, oh my God, they didn't believe him. It leads me to believe like they're like, oh, yep, that's basically what we suspected. How effective can AH's rebuttal really be with only an hour left? Not very, I'll tell you that much. Thanks for all your hard work. You are welcome. 7 million plus 7 million plus, because didn't JD also have to pay off the debts after the divorce? I don't know. 7 million is the number that's ringing in my head. I could be wrong. All right. I think we've come full circle. Thank you for all the super chats. Keep them coming. We're going to do more super chats later on. All right. Let's dive in. I'm like, fuck it. Let's do it on this stream because, all right, more juice from yesterday. All right, we're going to start where I left off before I went to bed at 10 o'clock last night. We're going to resume 2 o'clock at 2 o'clock on the cross-examination of, what did Nick call him? The SEO nerd. Was it Michael Spindler? No, that's the forensic accountant. Cross-examination of Benia. We're going to start on Benia. And Benia is going to be our first look. So on cross-examination, all right, cross-examination of Benia. Yesterday, Benia was a good witness. I liked him. Because if you remember the last thing we talked about, even after lunch, all jurors appeared interested and alert. All are paying attention and periodically taking notes from Benia as he's testifying. On cross-examination, when he's being asked, so this is the beginning of the cross, that you used quotations for your terms, and his admission that his data is limited Number 8 and 9 begin writing. As the cross goes on, number 4 and number 7 are seen resting their eyes briefly. Number 7 then closes his eyes completely and can't keep them open anymore. And like a few minutes later, number 7 is in full sleep mode. So he doesn't like the cross of Benia at all, it seems like. He's bored. When Benia says, it's irrelevant to my opinion, there's a moment where he says, it's irrelevant to my opinion. Vasquez and Chu exchange short, agreeable nods. A few minutes later, number 7 is still asleep. I guess he made up his mind. A few minutes after that, about 2:13, number 7 wakes up, and number 4 is seen going over old notes. Again, I think she is bored. They're both showing how bored they are. Number 5 just scratches her eye. The documents, these are the documents you relied upon. No. There was a moment where I have it marked as 2:16 when Benia says that, and Rottenborn shifts very uncomfortably in his own seat. I mentioned this yesterday, and I just want to mention it again. How cool is it that Cindy, one of the line sitters, got a What If Anything shirt to Camille fucking Vasquez. Camille Vasquez has a What If Anything shirt with hashtag LegalTube on the back. Like, it doesn't get much better than that, folks. I swear, if she, at the end of this trial, if she tweets wearing that shirt, I will literally die. I will be so happy. By the way, one thing I forgot to mention this entire time, one thing you don't really think about, an experience that you guys don't get to experience not being there. I forgot to say how absolutely amazing the courtroom smells. It appears to be a fairly new courtroom, and the room has like a sharp, I don't know, is it oak? Is it mahogany smell to it? It's very lovely and definitely adds to the viewer's experience. I think actually I did not tweet any of these either, did I? Because I went to sleep and I was tweeting while I was typing this. So I'm just going to do this later. Number 4 needed a tissue, and I got a chance to see her face today for the first time. And she, let me tell you, she looks exactly, it was yesterday, she looks exactly how I imagined her. A very nice lady. And then we come to Knight. Morgan Knight on direct examination. Rottenborn was very excited when Knight said, wait a minute, I'm sorry. Oh, Rottenborn got very excited when Knight said that he got in touch with the lawyers on May 3rd of 2022. Because it's very possible that he's been watching this trial, and if he has, because remember, they did voir dire of him. Voir dire means they question him before the jury gets a chance to question him to see if he can even testify as a witness, because if he's been watching this trial, watching the testimony, that means he's not sequestered, that means he's biased, that means he can't testify. So if he has followed the trial since the beginning, they can exclude him, but no such luck. And then Tug, that umbrella guy, is mentioned in open court. Now, I've never met Tug. I've never talked to Tug. He seems like a cool dude. I know he's not a lawyer, but he's been like all over the place. And he became world famous as a result of yesterday. He received a worldwide shout out. Now, at first they call him that umbrella man. And then Knight corrects her. Is like, I think it's called the that umbrella guy. And Elaine is just like, When she started asking him to tell his story and Chu objected, I was getting very like Chicago 7 vibes. Remember on voir dire when in the trial of the Chicago 7, when the former attorney general, I forget his name, I mean, you know, it's based on a real story, the riots in Chicago over the protesting the Vietnam War. Phenomenal movie, by the way. If you have not watched it, I've already seen it twice, and I think it's on Netflix. Highly recommend. The trial of the Chicago 7, when they try to call, and they actually do succeed in calling the former attorney general to the stand, and he testifies on voir dire, and they ask him, hey, wait a minute, I want you to tell us the entire story, start to finish. And the lawyers are like, excuse me, Your Honor, like, what the fuck are you doing? And the judge is like, yeah, I think it's relevant. I want to hear if he has anything useful to say. And after he finishes his story, he's like, I don't think he's provided anything useful, and I'm gonna tell him to go, and that's the end of it. Even though he literally just completely killed the government's case, and the government knows it. It's really weird to be in a position um, like that. So that's what I felt about Tug when she goes like, "Yeah, will you please tell us exactly what had happened?" And the other side was like, "No." She was like, "Objection! No, he's not going to be telling you the whole story. He's going to tell the story on direct examination with the jury here." And the judge is like, "Yeah, yeah." So the judge had the complete opposite ruling of the trial of the Chicago Seven. So in the beginning, I know. Listen, Camille, Elaine has been missing, screwing up names the entire trial. It has been like a theme of hers. Um, like the one that Tug was talking to or communicating with, I forgot her name. She kept mispronouncing that. Jermaine, I think it was, or whatever. And Elaine just kept getting corrected. I mean, come on, you gotta. Has she not read the book How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie? Quote: "The sweetest sound to any person ever is a person's name." End quote. There is no sweeter sound, I think, actually, he says, than a person's name to their own ears. And when you start butchering people's names, I mean, you're basically attacking who they are as an identity, as an entity, as a person. You can't do that. And mispronouncing names is Vasquez. It's very disrespectful, extremely disrespectful. And I didn't like that absolutely one bit. She's just shooting herself in the foot, and the jury catches on to all of that little tiny stuff, and it adds up. And at first, it might just be like a ouch, that hurts, and then by the end, you're buried in these, and it looks really, really bad on you. I remember at one point the judge was shooting daggers at Elaine from her eyes once again. She was livid towards Elaine because. And she was even gesturing in every direction when there was a bench conference, even like pointing at her at one point. And then after Knight leaves the courtroom, it changes to smiles. So whatever it was, judge just was not happy at the bench conference, and Knight comes back. Both parties are enjoying a big laugh at the bench conference. I don't know what they were talking about. I would love to read the transcript one day. It was really funny because yesterday there was a guy I met, Dean, and his girlfriend Ina, I think. No, not Ina. I actually have her name here. It's Lama, I think. Dean and Lama. And Dean, shout out to you guys. They were seated next to me. They were numbers 1 and 2 in the line. We all walked in together, and they were seated next to Chanley. And while there was a bench conference, I think, or they were finishing up the voir dire of Knight, maybe he already walked out, they started playing X's and O's. So shout out to you, Chanley. You're awesome. You're playing X's and O's with Dean right in the middle of court because you guys are bored. Now we begin the direct examination of Knight. All right, you guys ready? So yesterday, 2:48, Knight takes the stand on direct examination. Number 8 is kind of scratching her chin. I think she's like trying to figure out, like, who the hell is this guy? Like, why is he here? What does he have to bring to the table? She looks very confused. Once he says what he does and who he is, she kind of nods. I think that checks out. And all jurors are taking copious notes as he's testifying for quite some time, just describing who he is, what he does, what happened. Even I'm at one point starting to doze off tonight. When he says that Johnny Depp, when they were at the bonfire, when Johnny Depp and Amber Heard were at the bonfire and he was there and he witnessed Johnny cowering and afraid, jurors number 3, 6, and 7 move uneasily in their seats. I have a feeling each one has a story about, maybe a personal story about what may have happened to them. Number 3 moves for the first time that I've ever seen, scratches his head when that happens, and all are writing down furiously as Knight is testifying. Now, when the question comes up, were they intoxicated? Rottenborn looks at Elaine with a smirk. Now, later we learn nothing ever came of that, so I don't know what that smirk was about. I don't know. Whatever. We never saw Depp get physical. He never saw Depp get physical with Amber Heard. And then when the question comes in, oh my God, I love this one. When the question comes in from Elaine, she goes, or I'm sorry, maybe it was, hold on, maybe it was Cross already. I may have lost it somewhere here. I'm sorry. I think it was Cross. She said, "You're a big fan of Johnny Depp, aren't you?" And he goes, "Nope, I'm not a fan of Johnny Depp." The entire courtroom laughs. It was just so funny to watch. That umbrella guy is chuckling at the tweet. Number 9, I'm sorry. When they bring up that umbrella guy's tweet, number 9 is seen chuckling at the tweet, and I see number 2 at the time laughing for the first time. It was great. It was great. Number 2 begins laughing hysterically when Elaine said the umbrella man again instead of that umbrella guy, and gets corrected from the witness stand. Oh my, he was dying. He could not contain himself. It was not audible. It was not audible, but it was so visible. He had such a good time. When he says something about the schizophrenia, I didn't catch the full sentence. The entire room laughs, including the gallery. During cross-examination of Knight, the entire room is awake, even the judge and the jury. And it was very quick. It was, or I shouldn't say very quick. It was fairly quick. I just don't remember exactly where it started because I missed on that. But on redirect, after cross-examination, Elaine was like a bouncy stick. Do you remember what do you call it? Pogo sticks, right? She was like a pogo stick. She was like, Your Honor, object, Your Honor, object. She was, objection, Your Honor. And sometimes she would even like almost hop off, like I'm ready to object, but she wouldn't object, and she was literally just jumping up and down. Like she was on springs all of a sudden. That was on redirect. Then we come to Shaw. Shaw, the psychiatrist / psychologist, super professional guy. Really liked him. The way he carried himself. He was very very professional. Really enjoyed him. When he mentions that he deals with troubled teens and adolescents who may be prone to suicide, for approximately, I tried to time this because as soon as I noticed, I started paying attention. When he mentioned the words like troubled adolescent teens and prone to suicide and whatever, for approximately the next 90 seconds minimum. I don't know if this is on video. I wish if you guys can check, please let me know. For at least the next 90 seconds, Amber Heard grabs her left earlobe and just starts massaging it. Now, at first you think like, oh, she might be like scratching and she puts, no, she was very visibly, consistently massaging her earlobe for like a minute and a half, possibly just a bit longer, no more than. It was less than 2 minutes, but it was definitely over a minute. She was just massaging her earlobe. I don't know why. It's just as soon as that came up, you know what massaging earlobes is, by the way. It's a relaxing mechanism psychologically, from what I know. Now, again, we can't confirm or deny what this was for. Self-soothing, yes, exactly. I don't know. Maybe she was just upset about the stuff he was saying. Maybe she was upset at his testimony. Maybe it was some personal experiences of hers. I have no idea. All I know is that it is what she was doing as Shaw was testifying. Okay? Now, the jury was listening very intently at Shaw's credentials. And when he started talking about Spiegel, that he violated the ethical principles and which ethical principles were violated, all jurors are seen writing stuff down. Even the judge smirks when Amber Heard's counsel objects, when they say the witness's opinion is as Shaw says, the opinion of Amber Heard's experts are unreliable on the stand. He says, like, Amber Heard's witnesses that testified here, Arnold and all of them, are unreliable. And somebody objects from Amber Heard's team. Even the judge is smirking because she's like, yeah, I know it's bad for you, but the objection, Your Honor, this really hurts my case, from Liar Liar with Jim Carrey. I'm sorry, honey. It doesn't work. You got to have a proper objection. The judge looks very puzzled at defendant's counsel at the bench conference for some reason, as they object. Johnny Depp's 2 security guards are seen laughing in the pews, to the point where one of them again has to leave the room. Remember, we had that already. It was the same guy, same one as before. He just starts laughing. He can't help himself. He can't stop, and he has to leave the room. When there is a bench conference, the attorneys on either side have a little screen that they can look where the stenographer, for the longest time, I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. Like, why are they looking at this thing? It's the stenographer. They see the stenographer typing. So if you're not by the bench, you can just look and you can read what they're saying. Excuse me. So it's the court reporter. Now, this is a thing of beauty. When you compare Spiegel to Shaw, it's funny that both of them have a sh name, like sh. Spiegel came off as this arrogant, like, I know everything, and you are going to have to listen to me because I have studied this stuff. I have practiced this stuff. You don't hold a can. Oh, wait. On that point, you are correct. Yes, you actually got me on that point. But other than that, I can tell you exactly what it is. And I'm sorry. You have a question. Okay, please enlighten me. All right, go ahead. Meanwhile, Shaw comes off as this, like, intelligent, like, sure, I'd be more than happy to tell you about everything that I've learned. And I've listened to Spiegel's testimony, and I think he's a cuckoo McFucknut, and I believe that he's completely incapable of rendering an opinion worth 2 cents, or excuse me, 2 pence, because I'm from England. So it's quite. So that's basically what the comparison felt like to me. So when he starts talking about, when Spiegel, okay, let's go back in time real quick. When Spiegel starts talking about the golden rule, the Goldwater rule, and explains it, he explains it very poorly. He just kind of goes right into it, and I didn't even understand it. When Shaw started talking about the Goldwater rule, and if you remember, the Goldwater rule is basically you can't remotely watch somebody in a limited circumstance and render a diagnosis. So that's the Goldwater rule. They got rid of that. Okay. When Shaw starts explaining the Goldwater rule, I mean, my goodness, it was glorious, because I learned something. I finally learned what the Goldwater rule was. And all jurors listen very intently. I don't think that they were writing stuff down, but they were listening. Now, the guard returned at 3:48. I'm trying to see when he left. About 10 minutes prior, give or take. when Shaw starts testifying that Spiegel violated the Goldwater rule, number 5 seen scratching her ear. I don't remember how. It was yesterday. When Shaw starts talking about personality stuff, whatever it was, when the word personality starts getting thrown around, all jurors start writing that Spiegel talked about. Number 2 appeared displeased when defendant's counsel objected at 352, when Amber Heard's counsel objected at 352. That's all I got. I don't remember what the objection was. I don't remember what they were talking about. I was just trying to catch that. When you enter, by the way, I already mentioned this, one of the bailiffs says, "Welcome, enjoy the experience." When Shaw starts talking about cognitive function, everybody's writing stuff down. When Shaw says that psychological testing should have been done, number 2 nods and number 6 takes his glasses off. And I even make a note, like, these objection, it hurts my case objections are really rubbing the jury as a whole the wrong way. Like, you got to substantiate your objection, especially if you're trying to be like, what's his name? What did I call him? The Reinhardt objection, hearsay from yesterday, or whatever it was. Come on, help me out here, chat. What did I call him? His name is like Adam like objection hearsay from yesterday. Do you guys remember my tweet? Somebody in the chat, I'm sure, can find it in a split second. Yeah, but what did I hearsay like yesterday? Yeah, yep. Nadelhoft. Hearsay like yesterday, Nadelhoft. That's his new nickname. I've never seen an objection like that in my entire career. Needlehoft. That's from yesterday. Mini Rottenbottom is his other nickname. Mini Rottenbottom. Cards all the way. For those asking. All right. The jury as a whole is being rubbed the wrong way by all of these. I got some tips, by the way. So this is when I spoke to and became friends with the reporter from Court TV, Chanley. She's super cool. And she gave me some pointers on like sitting in court, like getting comfortable shoes, getting a multicolored pen. And again, I told you guys this yesterday, and it's sitting in my car. She gave me her favorite pen. Like, what better way to make a friend than to give away your most precious gift, like your most precious bleh. What better way to make a friend than to give away your most precious possession? Try saying that 10 times. She gave me her favorite. It's a multicolored pen. It changes. It's got like black, red, blue, and purple, I think, colors on it. And she just said, "Take it." It's so sweet. It is so sweet of her. I'm very touched. I really am. I was not expecting that. She's a really sweet girl, and she is very, very smart from what I noticed. And she's an attorney too, so it's going to be interesting to converse with her when this thing is over about her insights, because she's been there the entire trial. I've only been there for 2 weeks. Objection not in evidence. Okay, that blonde lawyer with the long straight hair yesterday, she was the one doing the direct of Shaw, right? In the middle of it, opposing counsel goes, "Objection not in evidence." And she, from the podium, I can tell you right now, this girl is going to go far. As a fairly mildly experienced criminal defense attorney with some cross-examination under his belt, trying not to toot my own horn too much, I can tell you right now, what I saw her do is a hallmark of an individual who understands their task. And it's these little things, it's these little things that show what it is, how it is, what needs to be done, how it needs to be done. Because from the podium, she's so confident, she's so cocky, and it works. Sometimes it doesn't work. In this case, it did. You got to know your audience. You got to know when to do it, when not to do it. It's not a one-size-fits-all universal. Objection not in evidence. She goes right from the podium. She goes, yes, Your Honor. I'm sorry. Yes, it is. May we approach? I will show you. She did a more like professional way of doing that would be like, objection not in evidence. Your Honor, may we approach? Like, that's a more softer way. It accomplishes the same purpose, right? But objection not in evidence. Yes, it is. Can we approach? I will show you. It's like one of those, like, bam. And the jury sees all of this when you say stuff like that, you know? Because when you go to the podium and say whatever you want to say, they don't get to hear it. They get the white noise. I love it. I even wrote, whoever she is, she's going to go far. Cross-examination of Shaw. I don't know what happened. Either I was falling asleep, or I couldn't find anything of value. I just have ... Or maybe I was so focused on the testimony. I don't remember. Redirect of Shaw ... Okay. Next, we come to the Jennifer Howell. Jennifer Howell direct. This is where I audibly heard Elaine once again use the term Ms. Vasquez, spelled VAZ:KWEZ. And Camille Vasquez actually chuckled when she heard that. Like, you could see her. She turned to co-counsel, and just started laughing. When Ms. Howell is asked, have you ever seen him do drugs, alcohol, or ever be intoxicated? No. Every juror is writing stuff down. No injuries. Never said he was abusive. No. Every juror is writing stuff down. Number 5 even strokes her hair. See, there's another contradiction. I don't know. I'm so confused. Number 5 confuses the shit out of me. She's so inconsistent. Remember how I said the jury reacts in a certain way, and then she will react the opposite way? That happens too. Then when a question arises, your loyalty is to Depp. I think this was on cross. Number 8 just laughs. I wrote friendlily. I don't remember. Gold Brown, I think was her name. The Children's Hospital witness from the LA Children's Hospital. Number 8 scratches her head, and all are writing down when she said that the money was paid by Amber Heard. That Amber Heard sent a letter of pledge that will be fulfilled. All are writing stuff down. March 30th of 2021, $250,000. Everybody except number 5 are writing stuff down. Number 5 looks bored. She looks to be over this testimony. And then the plaintiff rests early, and they charge the time to plaintiff's clock. And at this point, Johnny's team doesn't really care. Then hearsay like yesterday guy, Minnie Rottenbottom, gets up there, and as he's making his argument, so what he was doing, for those of you wondering, he was protecting the record. He was bringing in all of the witnesses that the judge ruled were inadmissible, and she's not going to let them testify. They need to let the Court of Appeals know what the judge did. Okay? They need to let the Court of Appeals know what the judge did. And the Court of Appeals will never be able to know what the judge did unless they tell it into the record. They enter it into the record. That's why he had that big folder with all those names, or whatever he was, whatever he had. And as he was making those arguments, he was kind of swaying front to back, very little, but it was noticeable, as if he's praying. It was very interesting to watch. His hands were trembling like this when he was grabbing his folders. Like, he was very visibly nervous. Judge doesn't appear to be listening very intently, but that's for obvious reasons, because it doesn't matter. She doesn't care. She already ruled on this stuff. He's just protecting the record. He's doing his job. That's what he's supposed to do when the defense closes their case. She understands that they're just doing that to protect the record. The mess. I have a note on here, and I'm trying to remember what the heck it was. I have 4 stars next to it. The message to stay on task. I may need chat to refresh my memory because I legitimately don't remember what on earth. This is when, at the end of the day, when Minnie Rottenbottom was putting everything into the record. You guys remember a moment when there was like a message to stay on task? And it was very rude. I already talked about Newmeister. Go back. 6 versus 1 jury, Amber Heard wins? No. If it's 6 versus 1... I think it had to do with time. Those texts were incoming. That's why he said they weren't his. By the way, nothing happened to James. Was it jury instructions? No, I can't remember. Anyway, maybe it'll come to me. Whitney Heard and Amber Heard exchanged very hollow looks with each other as the lawyer is reading this into the record. He visibly shakes when he grabs the next folder. Yeah. When he brings up the UK trial stuff, again, the judge purses her lips. And I just wrote, we got to get some Turn on Your Mic Elaine t-shirts. And that catches us up. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to create an invite. I'm going to create an invite to every single LawTuber that we have in the LawTube community. I just finished. Oops. I just finished my recap. I have so many messages, you guys. It is actually insane. They don't stop. They just don't stop. I can't wait to see them because every single one of these is going to have, oh my goodness. Every single one of these is going to be something interesting. Somebody's got something interesting to say or to add. Let's see if we can get somebody from the LawTube community in the chat, or not in the chat, excuse me. What am I saying? Okay. You do realize that my reaction was not intentional. Yeah. Wait a minute. So it's interesting. One of the LawTubers stated, I'm not going to say who it was, said that they don't want to have us on stream today because of our natural reactions. Okay, all right. There you go. LawTube drama. I don't know. Whatever. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay. I don't know. Maybe in the abundance of caution, but even still, I think they're just pussyfooting around. They're just not sure. This is somebody who probably doesn't quite understand how this game is played. We never do stuff just for the sake of attention. That's just stupid. I mean, sitting like me, you know, I always like to be front and center where the camera sees me for two reasons. Well, first of all, number one, actually, interestingly enough, that spot has the best view of the jury, best view. I can see the judge, lawyer, both tables, witness, and jury, with the exception of like 4 and 9, for which I have to kind of shift to see. So it is literally the best seat in the courtroom because it literally lines up with the camera, because the camera is diagonally across the courtroom. So I like sitting there. It accomplishes every goal you can possibly imagine, right? Now the problem is it captures your natural reaction. Why on earth would I do this intentionally? You saw, if it was like just me trying to show off, like, oh, you saw, first of all, James, myself, who else was there? You can't really see Vanessa's face. There were a couple of jurors in the back. James, myself, Scott, we all had the same reaction. So, all right. Okay. I think you're taking it way overboard by not understanding the situation and misreading it, but so be it. So, whatever. Don't really care. Okay. What do you guys want to do now? It's 8:53. It's time to get some sleep, I think. It's time to get some rest. I appreciate you guys joining me. Nobody else is coming. I can understand that. So, I'll be the lone wolf tonight. I'll be the lone wolf. All right, you guys. Let me just read a few more super chats before I go. I just want to know how the jury reacted to the TMZ dude when he mentioned Amber posting for the alleged bruise. Not really much that I could notice. Is Jennifer Howell's declaration letter marked in as evidence? Blink twice if it is. Thank you for everything. You're welcome. Does JD team even have witnesses left? Judge said tomorrow. Amber Heard rebuttal and JD ended early today. Yeah, I think that's it. I think we're done. It's just rebuttal witnesses for Amber Heard's side. I have a badge, so you must believe me. Exactly, BA, you got it. Strawberry pudding. Who was the man sitting at the end of your bench against the wall? I don't know. Just a complete stranger. He was in a dark maroon. Yeah, he was a spy. Maybe. I don't know. Can Johnny take the UK trial back to court? No. Can he sue the son back to court and sue? No. Sorry if you answered already, but how did the juror react to Amber Heard laughing audio last Tuesday? Not very well. They were very uncomfortable. Thank you for the super chat. Sticker. I just went back to the TMZ argumentative part, and I think you can literally hear when you gasp. Probably. Elaine's eyes got red, as did her nose, as she held back her tears when Johnny gave his testimony regarding his mother and how Amber abandoned him. Elon wanted to go to Mars because Amber Heard is on Earth. That's funny. The TMZ guys said who sent the video without saying the words. Did you catch that? Go on Law and Crime. Okay, I'll do that later. Cool. Then he looks at Amber and he lifts his eyebrows. I did not catch that. Thank you, Lima, for the sticker. Did I see? I accidentally caught this one. Did I see where Amber Heard filed a motion to seal the jurors' identities for a year, and it was granted? Very possible. After Johnny Depp wins $7 million, wouldn't it be poetic if Johnny Depp brought your trial jury notes on auction? Whisper of a dream. That would be pretty cool. I'm gonna save them for now. I'm not gonna like toss them, or I mean toss them. I'm not gonna like auction them myself. It would be pretty great if Johnny helped. Larry, great work, bro. I think the TMZ testimony is more explosive than people think. He couldn't name send. TMZ testimony is more explosive than people think. He couldn't name Amber, I think, because of hearsay. This is huge. What am I missing? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Love the thumbnail. That's how we reacted to that moment. Yeah, it was pretty epic. It was epic. I have a badge. You're amazing, Larry. Thank you. So are you. How long does each side get for closing? I think an hour 15, hour and a half, no more than. Caution about using the self-harm words YouTube algorithm. Oh, okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Thank you, BNA. Why would Amber Heard team file a motion to hide their names? Your guess is as good as mine. Speaking of the what if anything t-shirt, did you notice that Camille has been using it? I know. I noticed that. I think they're trying to get a meme trending because Ben Chu did that, then Camille did that, then some of the, and I'm like, what is happening here? Why are they all? They're copying Elaine. It is clear. I agree. That's a signal straight up. I didn't even think about that until you just said it. Google Leonard. She is there. Yeah, we got that. Do the jurors ever watch at Amber while JD or other JD witnesses are testifying? Curious. They see. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to see if they are or not from my vantage point. Sales 101. Say the person's name in a good tone as much as possible without it sounding forced. Yeah. Dale Carnegie. Great book. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Get it. Trust me. What I learned today is like most generally honest people, Johnny Depp is a horrible liar. Makes him seem more truthful in everything else, in my opinion. Is like most generally honest people. Okay, well, that's your opinion. Anyway, a pathologist can confirm Turd was human. I don't think we have that confirmation yet. Grew up watching Vietnam War, interesting times. Nice. How did the jury react when Amber's attorney supposedly made a mistake and said Miss Heard and Mr. Turd in the trailer park? They totally missed it. It went over their heads. It definitely went over mine. Nobody noticed it. Camille was trying to get the jury to connect the airport incident with domestic violence. Yes. Will Depp actually get cash or cleared name from all this mess? Cleared name, future roles, yes. Cash, maybe. $7 million is where I'm putting it on. I can't wait to find out if she wears the t-shirt and the Twitter photo. It would be awesome. Yes, it would be. Welcome, SMCD. $10 super sticker. Thank you. Another super sticker. Thank you. Do you think Johnny's team expected public help like this, or was it a surprise? I think it's a surprise. Maybe they kind of expected it'll come at the end. Maybe they didn't. I doubt that they expected this much exposure. I think that I didn't even expect we're going to get this much exposure. I think that Johnny should ask for only $1, just the way Taylor Swift did during her hearing. I think that it will play well with the jury. Okay. Camille asked Bevel that question because Amber Heard accused her of being a bigot, not knowing BL is LGBT. Also, it was a whole thing when it happened. Okay. Can you make a shirt that says "Don't be like Amber Heard, own your shit"? And that's the craziest thing of Amber. I'm gonna write that down. All right, so t-shirt ideas. We got the Depp effect. T-shirt ideas. We got the Depp effect. Now we've also got, that's the craziest thing I've Amber Heard. That's the craziest thing I've Amber Heard. That is fucking epic. And then don't be like Amber Heard, own your shit. I don't like that one. It has the S word in it. Throw some more. I love these. Sexuality, QAHLS officer was homophobic. I see. I missed explanation of TMZ witness. Can you go over it? No. Rewind. Thank you. How much time must pass till a hung jury is declared? That's a question. Great question. It's as good as. Yeah, my answer is speculative at best. I don't know. Thank you for your work you put into this case. Very much appreciated. Not sure if you answered, but did you catch who Johnny winked at some point? No, I have no idea. So tomorrow's witnesses. I haven't checked the witness list. Somebody probably did by now. Why was the to from tweet discrepancy ship sailed? Because they didn't ask that question on either direct or cross. So that's gone. Everyone remember to send love to the mods. Thank you for keeping the crazies away. Hell yeah. Shout out to all the mods. Love you guys. Love the new Twitter banner visually from seeing the jury's emotions. Where do you feel like they're leaning in this case? Team Depp, Law Nerd. I think they're leaning towards Johnny. But I'm biased, but I think they're leaning towards Johnny. The sexuality question could relate to Amber claiming she never assaulted any of her partners prior to Johnny. Yep. The photo lawyer didn't forget his question. He wanted to skip it, let the evidence that was excluded. Depp's lawyer said he opened the door. Yeah, I remember that too. What's your favorite moment of the trial so far? Favorite? Just seeing Johnny Depp on the stand. Honestly, it's not a moment. It's an entire sequence. My least favorite? My least favorite moment. Standing in line? Not getting enough sleep? Pretty sure Beverly Leonard is confirmed as an arresting officer. They had to be... Okay, I got it. Everybody's been telling me this. Oh, my least favorite moment. Yeah, when Amber Heard smiled at me and I fucked me and Ian and Rob. Because I think, again, I'm going to maintain the theory, because it's a sea of women. All of a sudden, you get three sharp-dressed men. You know, you get ZZ Top vibes in your head right now, right? Sharp-dressed man. Yeah. I think she thought like, ooh, three young men in the panel, in the jury. They must be here for me. Like, oh my God, finally, the support is coming from the male herd. No pun intended. The males are flocking to the courthouse and waiting in line just to support me and then she smiles at us with this creepy little psychotic smile and like stares us down one by one over and over again. And we're just like, what is she doing? Why is she doing this? I'm not comfortable. Can I leave now? And when she realizes that we are LawTube and we are here to destroy her, now she can't even look at us. She definitely can't look at me. I can tell you that right now. She can't look at me. Oopsies. You're appreciated, and we all loved your reaction because it was all of our reactions. You don't need to post this. You have worked your butt off, and everyone wants to hear you, not them. Let them trash talk. Hire that Farron girl. She will add flavor and give you a break once in a while. Hell yeah. Thank you for becoming a new member. Harley. T-shirt idea, defamation or defecation, Team Depp. Per Court TV, Amber Heard is returning to the stand tomorrow, of course, on rebuttal. What do you think she will talk about? The scope of her testimony will be limited. Yeah, it's limited to the scope of direct. She can't talk about anything else, and she'll just be like, she'll fill in whatever Johnny. Yeah, that's a good call. It's gonna be tomorrow is all Amber. Tomorrow is just pretty much gonna be all Amber, and then closing arguments, and then it's over. Been loving your in-court intel, mate. You need to watch the short video that Ricardo Law just uploaded of the TMZ comment and your reaction. Epic, low, keep moving, showing the love from Australia. That's awesome. Super late, but I've been watching your videos for a long time. Tell me your thoughts going through your head where the TMZ guy made you gasp. I was shocked. I could not believe that he just fired back. I mean, it was like he was like a fucking gunslinger, and just like pulled his guns out and was like, okay, you wanna go on a shootout? What do you got? Well, how do you feel about your 15 minutes of fame? And he's like, how do you feel about your 15 minutes of fame, bitch? And I was like, oh, I can't believe he just said that in open court. I mean, what else do you do? That's literally that was going through my head. Like, did he seriously just say that? Amber Heard only has 1 hour and 16 minutes left. Right. Exactly. So she has nothing. She has absolutely nothing left. They put her on redirect. They put her on redirect. I'm sorry, redirect. Sir rebuttal. It's called Sir rebuttal. They had the rebuttal. Now we're going to have the Sir rebuttal. We're going to put her on Sir rebuttal and direct her for 1 hour and 16 minutes and then sit down. What else can you do? There's nothing left. You're right. It's going to be Amber Heard. I'm seriously, you guys, like it's so hard to pay attention to the facts of this trial and the reactions and lack of sleep and barely any food. It's tough to it's tough to keep up with everything. So on that note, I thank every single one of you for being here. Thank you for joining me. I had so much fun today. I had no idea what the hell was going to happen in court today, and when it did, I'm glad. This is now a viral sensation. So awesome, fantastic. I'm very excited. Let's keep this train going and let's see where it goes. So thank you very much for joining me. I'm sorry we didn't get any other law tubers in here. I was really hoping that we would get some more law tubers in here and maybe chitter chatter. Maybe they're a little upset about my reaction. I don't know why they would be, but at least one is not for personal reasons, but because of potential backlash. I think they're saying. I think it's complete garbage, but that's just me. So thank you so much. I appreciate every single one of you. What I do think is, I think it's sheepishness and lack of familiarity with how the law world works and what you can and cannot do. And I'm not judging or criticizing, just for the record. I'm not judging or criticizing. I'm just saying that you could have approached it in a better and more cavalier way. Don't be a chicken, okay? Don't be afraid to step on toes. I've always been doing that. I know a lot of lawyers are afraid to step on toes, and I imagine some in the LawTube community maybe are afraid to step on toes. So it's very possible that I'm still learning this game. I'm still learning this game. Not Sir rebuttal, Sir rebuttal. I can't even spell it right now. Not S. I can't even spell it. I'm sorry. Rebuttal. Okay, so you got plaintiff's case in chief. Sorry, I forget. I'm not talking to lawyers. You got plaintiff's case in chief, defendant's case in chief. Then plaintiff gets to rebut, defense gets to rebut. The first one is called rebuttal. The second one is called Sir rebuttal, and it's spelled like this. Oops, I'm sorry, like this. So I may have already gotten it. Okay, that's how it's spelled. It's a weird word. It's a weird word, but it's real. So, excuse me. And yeah, so back to the unnamed law tuber. their fear is completely unsubstantiated. It has no basing in evidence. I guess we will find out tomorrow. But I believe, again, I am not doing this. Obviously, I'm doing this for some publicity. No shit, Sherlock Holmes. But I would never put my bar card on the line for some stupid shit like that. My reaction was 100% natural and 100% congruent with the slam dunk fucking testimony by TMZ guy. Shout out to you once again. You killed it, man. You killed it. You left a stain where Elaine once was on cross-examination, and it was beautiful to watch. And thank you for that. You just made our day. You made the internet's day. You made you made Johnny Depp's day and his team's day. So I'm telling you, don't be a chicken. Don't be a chicken. Understand where the line is drawn. When things are okay and when things are not okay. When things are okay, don't worry about it. Don't hide. Don't be afraid, okay? So shout out, deuces, and I will see you all tomorrow. Final day of evidence. Tomorrow is the last day of evidence. The day after tomorrow, closings. Friday at noon, it's all over. We only got 36 more hours of this stuff, 40 hours, okay? Thank you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.